Get to hear the melodious fan of blades as it spins in. I'm going to need to harness the power of that sound effect at some point, Ziggy.
It's just my fan. If I don't have it on, I start to cook. So
Is it a fan for your person or a fan for your computer?
no, for my person.
Oh, okay.
It's hot.
Makes sense.
My apartment doesn't have good AC.
I haven't set up my AC yet.
That's a computer fan. There is something very wrong with that computer fan.
Yeah, no. If my fan was going that loud, I'd probably be evacuating the building.
Something's about to come on fire.
You just need to live dangerously. Like, that's what I did last time my computer made a sound that loud. Majestic. Anyway, everybody, welcome to session. We've hit 35. Holy cow. It's been 35 sessions, guys. Kakan has now been with you all for the majority of the game.
Is that right?
Yeah, you joined on session 15, I believe.
Oh.
Yeah.
Neat.
We've grown so much.
You had. You have. Anyway, who remembers what happened last time?
Kidnapping.
Kidnapping?
What are you talking about?
Nara was not kidnapped.
Oh no, Mingwall was.
Oh shit, yeah, Mingwall was kidnapped.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. I'll rejoin you at the entrance to the palace.
Yeah.
Turns.
Yeah, it'll be fine. No worries. What else happened last time, guys? There was literally one group. Also, hi, Wex. You joined as we were just starting the recap.
To be fair, those of us who were not at the tea shop cannot recap the tea shop.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's fair, but there's stuff that happened after that.
We had a nice time at the teacher.
Nothing at all happened.
Did you guys meet anybody else while people were off heading to meet the Earth King?
Oh yeah, the Spymaster.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're still in the midst of meeting him.
Yep, we still have questions.
Yep.
Reminder for people in that meeting to look at General for the question we forgot to ask.
Yeah.
Sassing him because he lives in a swampland?
Sassing is important, is he?
Okay. Fair enough, I guess. Well, with that being said, who wants to start us off tonight?
Do we want to start off with the question we didn't ask last time, or do we want to see whether or not our friends who are supposed to meet the Earth King managed to make it outside of the courtyard?
That probably seems like a more pressing matter.
Up to you guys.
Whatever we do, I just want to fucking leave this city.
Well, why don't we do the courtyard chaos first to see if we get to leave this city?
Yeah, I support this right now. We will see whether or not we're allowed to leave.
Fair. Also, Wex, you might want to check your mic gain. You sounded a little soft and weird there.
That's not good. Hold on.
All right.
Yep. Okay, there we go. How's that?
That is much better.
Much better.
Way better.
Discord did the thing where it said, nope, you're not going to use your nice microphone.
Yep.
All right, so we're going with the Courtyard Shenanigans first. So, Han, Rizik, and Nara. We're starting off in yellow. As I said last time, you guys were climbing the steps up into the Earth Kingdom Palace, and while you turned around and could, survey pretty much the entirety of the upper ring. However, you could not see the mid ring or the lower ring because the walls around the upper city are so high. It's literally like it's been partitioned away from the rest of Ba Sing Se.
And I basically run up and join them on the steps, right?
Not quite yet.
Okay, fair.
We'll get there. I'll let you know when you're there. But yeah, you guys managed to ascend the steps, and as you look around, you see a man in a Earth Kingdom military uniform, heavily decorated, flowing green cape, and a very thick, long beard. And you overheard him yelling at a bunch of Dai Li agents. The individuals with the stone hands and feet with the wide-brimmed hat. And he was saying, "Look, I don't care. Keep searching for him. You have to bring the Avatar back here." In hushed voices. He's probably speaking a little louder than he should. And then he turns and seems a little shocked to see the three of you standing there. Can I help you with something?
Izzy, just to double check, we like actually had a summons, right?
You had a summons and you have an escort. Yeah, you've been escorted by a woman in high-class robes, and were taken in a carriage, if you remember.
This might also be the person being a...
Izzy, do we know what her name is?
You never asked.
We are so polite.
I mean, I can guess what it is. But...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we all know what it is, but...
In character, Han would have asked at some point.
Lies. You're just as rude as me. It's who I get it from.
That is not true at all.
Okay, Dan, so what's her name?
Julie.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What's the name? I missed it.
Julie.
It's Julie.
Oh, of course.
Judy.
Of course
Yeah.
it is.
Of course.
So, yeah, she's just sitting there smiling, and she is going to bow to this very well-decorated individual and say, "General Jen, I have brought the representative leader of Omashu to meet the Grand Earth King." And he's going to be like, "Ah, yes. The wall job." He's going to say, he's just going to narrow his eyes at you, and he's going to be like, "You're not the representative that was last here. What happened to him?"
Did we have a plan for how we were saying Frankdo was stepping down?
medical issues. Clearly.
I mean, if anyone saw him in the preceding week, they would understand. He's like, oh yes, that man definitely needs to be in a hospital and away from the city for a while.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
He was not feeling well. He was not looking well, so like...
Oh god, how should we even refer to... I guess former King Frankdo has stepped down from the role due to health issues. My name is Han Bahon. I have taken up the mantle as ruler of Omashu in his place.
Wait, we have last names?
Han does.
Some of us do.
Han's had a last name for the whole thing.
It's true.
I don't have a last name.
I had a last name picked out pre-game. 2 of them, in fact.
Nor do I, but I now have Dan's last name because I'm his daughter and a
Congratulations, you
princess.
have my fake last name.
Yes, I do.
Real question, does anyone else have a last name?
Nope.
I mean, I probably should, but like, I didn't think of one.
I don't know. A lot of characters in Avatar.
None of
don't.
us are legitimate enough to have last names.
Basically went with last names are for nobility.
Oh yeah,
Clearly, Dan.
Yeah, Dan.
Yeah, clearly.
Exactly.
yeah. And it's the only noble in game, so...
They do seem to be related to that, don't they?
And that's sort of what happened historically, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, did
could
Katara have a
important
last
enough to
name?
have gotten a last name.
No, Katara and Sokka were just Katara and Sokka of the Southern Water Tribe.
But Zuko didn't have a last name.
He was Prince Zuko of the royal family.
Yeah, okay, yeah, but
You know, he
Last
didn't
names
have
aren't important. Move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see, did...
I think Toph was the only one.
Yes.
Yeah.
I completely lost my train of thought. Great. All 3 of you die. Moving on.
No!
We're finally
fine!
free of Bossing Say!
And you immediately get sucked into the spirit nexus underneath it, where we have to break you out.
Still better.
All right. So it's gonna be like, of course, someone would just step down from being a representative in such a time of need because he can't finish the job he promised us he would be able to fulfill. I'm sure you will be more productive than your former... He's just going to start waving his hand like he's looking for the right word. Leader.
I whisper loudly to Dan.
Come to think of
Talking
it, what
Grandpa?
has been like kind of the effort on the wall since the attack?
Is he talking about Grandpa?
I will give Nara a slight nod. And
Okay.
like be quiet sign.
There has not been a effort made on the wall. There's been no one to run the show. Because Frankto hasn't been in the city, and you haven't been in the city, Dan.
Right.
What about
We don't
Boomy?
have, like, people for that? Are you kidding me?
Do you really trust Boomy to run a construction project?
You know,
Yes, he's an excellent
I expected
earthbender.
Boomy to try, okay?
I trust Boomy more than the rest of Bossing say.
Low bar.
That's
So Dan, as a reminder for when you were originally talking to Frankto, and when you were talking to some of his workers, he had people, permits, and all that stuff set up. And then when he sent people to the high city to, confirm stuff, they didn't come back. And if you remember from last week, you know where some of them
you
ended
saw
up.
one of the dudes as one of the bonsai trimmers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
right.
So, yeah, since there's been no infrastructure to, keep that going since he, left the city, and you haven't been here to keep it running as well, wall efforts have halted. That said, and you would know this just because a couple of you did some scouting on the wall. I believe it was Kakan and Yura. The exterior wall itself didn't really take a lot of damage from the spirits. They found the weak hole, which was in the force field, not in the wall itself. They found a way through that, and then once they were through, they ignored the wall because it wasn't a barrier anymore. So, wall is pretty much in the same state it's been for the past 2.5 weeks. The only...
Okay. And so apart from the spirit side of it, like how far along was it in construction?
If you look at the top of your map around Bossing Say, there is like a 2-mile gap between those black lines surrounding 34. The rest of the wall has been completed, so you guys are like 85-90% done.
Okay. Well, given the events of the past few weeks, I would say that the current condition of the wall is surprisingly strong. So we will be able to, I'm sure we'll be able to restart efforts as long as we're able to get and keep workers.
Well, that's on you, of course. Our king is far too busy to lend his own workers. We have so many projects up here in the upper city. What events are you referring to? He's going to say, narrowing his eyes.
Nothing you need concern yourself with for the time being. I'm sure you have much more important statues to worry about. I assume there's another one of those fucking statues, like, close enough that I can kind of jerk my head at it.
There's actually one of him in the foyer.
Excellent. We'll gesture at that one.
By the way, Minghua, you can show up now.
Can I show up careening around the corner and knock the statue over myself?
Yes.
Amazing, thank you. Sweet crash!
Oh god, this is a fucking anime.
Mm-hmm. We've been in the filler arc for a while now. You know what's been happening.
Yeah, no, this guy is, like, as you careen into this statue, it goes toppling over, shatters into a million pieces. He's just gonna be like, oh! Like,
I start guiltily piling the pieces into a vague semblance of what it used to be. It doesn't work very well.
So does Meanwhile look normal, or is there anything, like, obviously off?
Minghua's legs from the knees down, face, chest, and hands are covered in mud.
As soon as all of the Bossing Say people are looking away, Han is just going to have an absolute shit-eating grin on his face at the destroyed statue.
Okay.
You just full cat who caught the canary.
Oh, yes.
How are you so good with gifts, Stan?
It's a talent.
He's really just been predicting what everyone will do this entire time and has like 20 tabs loaded up.
Is Dan the true Mimitar?
Yes.
Anyway, Judy is going to look at you and say, "If you please, we must now go see the Earth King." And
once that happens, Miguel's ears perk up. He notices you three and just, wanders straight over, picks Nora up onto the shoulders.
Han's gonna
You're
grab
okay.
Yep.
Where were you? Han's also gonna hand you like a handkerchief that he had in his pocket to try to wipe off the worst of the mud.
I'll focus on trying to, I'm not even bothering with the legs. I'll wipe off some of the hands and face and sign back. It was dark and weird and really muddy and gross.
Ick.
Well, that's better than what I was expecting when you disappeared.
Miguel just shrugs.
okay. With that, you've left this general and several Daily agents trying to reassemble this broken statue. And you're being led into a very large, dark chamber. You just see these two... Oh god, I don't remember what the word is. Crucibles of fire? Not crucible. It's a C word.
Sensor?
Not sensor. It's like those two plates that hold fire in them that are up on top of stands. I can't remember what those things are called.
Which things?
It doesn't matter. There are two torches.
I know what you mean. I'm blanking on the word.
Yeah, there are two torches at the far end of the room, and as you walk in, there is this long red rug that just kind of unrolls down the center into the darkness, and then you can see it again up by these torches. And you're noticing a column on each side of the rug, about every 10 feet as you're walking in. This room is so massive that you can't even see the sides of it or the ceiling because of how dark it is. And, you notice as Judy is just standing by the door, ushering you in, and she's like, "I will wait out here until the Earth King has finished with you." And then she's just going to slowly pull the door closed behind you guys, leaving you in this almost unsettling darkness with just these two pillars of fire at the far end of the room.
Yeah, all of Miguel's fur is on it. And
This is a weird throne room for an Earth King.
Yeah.
yes. But at the same time, I was pretty sure the Fire Nation had gone to the North Pole, so what is happening?
Maybe, but, Daily.
It's just time traveling Azula.
How thick is the door that just got shut behind us?
Have you ever been in a big ass church or basilica, a solid 1.5 feet thick of wood?
God.
Like elaborately decorated, the both outside and inside are gilded, and it looks like there are badger moles, dragons, bears, air bison, just etched into this thing and leafed over with gold.
Okay.
Look, I can probably
what are the odds that a goat gorilla could Falcon Punch through it in a pinch?
That's a good question.
Maybe not Falcon Punch, but I probably could get it back open.
Okay.
Between all of us, I'm pretty sure we can escape if need be.
Okay. So I will very quietly say, let's just try our best not to cause a diplomatic incident so we can leave.
I do a thumbs up.
Keep an eye out for escape routes just in case.
Nods.
Got it!
And as you guys...
Han's gonna give Nara a lower the volume gesture.
Got it!
And as she says got it, there are two torches on the sides of the door that you just entered. They flick to life.
firebender here?
You guys gonna stay in or stay by the door, walk further in? What do you want to do? Or should I jump to the next group?
Walk further in.
Yeah, I guess we'll walk further in.
Okay. Every time
It's like a choose your own adventure thing right now.
it kind of is. So as you guys walk in, every 2 pillars you pass, again, each spaced like 20 feet apart, you see torches just lighting up on them.
Mingwa is keeping an eye out for escape routes. I'm not expecting to see any, but let's just throw a roll.
This is
for
either firebending, very nice technology, or a lot of very unnecessary labor,
I will
and I'm not
just
sure which is worst.
Actually, I just realized it could be completely petty earthbending. They just need to have flint and steel inside of the torches, then an earthbender flicks them.
Maybe.
Nick, shut the fuck up!
I mean, there's a lot of ways you can replicate these effects.
So yes, very unnecessary labor then.
The engineer is unimpressed.
So as you guys get to the very front of the room, you're noticing one of those... Oh wow, I can't words today. It's like one of those large palanquins with this thick sheet over it. You can see the wooden base and this just like curtain hanging overhead. And as you guys step up or like 5 feet away from it, those torches that you'd been watching from the very beginning of the room spark to life. And then from behind this curtain, you just see this giant silhouette of a body, this big, bullish man who says, "Who dares enter my chambers?"
Hello.
I'm Han Bahan, the ruler of Omashu. I was summoned.
And his daughter.
Summoned you were, and yet you are not showing me the proper respect. You will kneel in the presence of the Earth King of Ba Sing Se.
Mingwa kneels.
What are you doing?
Yeah, that's weird.
Daddy, do we have to kneel if we're the same rank?
Can we actually? So can we actually see the king? No.
You see a shadowy silhouette through this thing.
Oh god, this is fucking,
Oh.
yeah, what your boss?
This
Is
is
there any way I can... What is the curtain... what's holding up the curtain made out of?
Yeah, is it metal?
wood.
Yeah, that's
And
still
Dad airbend something for us? Maybe open
I
like
mean,
some
How
curtains?
subtly could we break the curtain?
You're doing it subtly is the problem.
The curtain is frickin' cloth. You guys can trivially get through that.
Well, no, it's
What's
not
the
amount
source?
of
How far is the source of fire from the source of the curtain?
The 2 torches are like, say 10 feet away.
What's holding up the
I
torches?
think we're overcomplicating
Yeah,
this.
it's just like a spiral pillar that's holding it up.
I would see the face of the king, so that I'm not kneeling to a silhouette.
That requires a business acumen check, sir, to not piss him off.
But what if the goal is pissing him off in a way he can't deny the request?
Can I use principle of business for this?
Sure. First principle of the night, everyone.
Oh yeah, business your way out of this.
It's business time.
You're in yellow. Not that it matters for you. 8.
Wow, that was a waste of a roll. I'm never gonna get dice like that again. 8s.
Dang.
The king's an alien.
You dare think there would be an... What? I'm sorry. What is your goal with this roll, Dan?
I'm trying to get. I'm literally trying to get the guy to come out from the curtain so that he's not just like being some fucking asshole behind sitting behind a curtain while people kneel for him. Like, I at least want to see the dude's face before I like show him respect.
He's rolling a hinder if that's your what you actually want. Okay, so with the hinder, you still succeed with a minor twist.
Okay.
How do I do this?
This seems appropriate.
This does seem appropriate. Also, Ziggy's fan is killing me.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's what's
I'll turn it down. I'll turn it down a little bit.
It's what's
Hold
keeping
on.
the flames going.
It
I
is.
don't want him to die. No, you leave
That's
that
fine.
on.
I'll turn it down. I won't turn it off. I'll just turn it.
Could you just point it away from your mic?
Then it wouldn't be pointed at him.
Now I hear absolute silence. All right. And you used principle of business for this one, Han?
Yes.
I'm just going to look at your sheet and see what it recommends for that. Principle of business. Oh, that is fucking stupid.
What?
What his minor twist suggests for his principle of business. So, Han, he is not going to come out from behind the curtain. However, he is going to say, fine, if you don't wish to genuflect in front of me to show your loyalty as a Earth Kingdom citizen.
It's a word.
Genuflect is a word.
It is a word.
Okay. I've only ever heard it in that Aladdin song.
That is the appropriate use of that word.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you don't wish to kneel before me, I will not have you immediately escorted from the palace, for we have business to discuss. However, the rest of these loyal citizens should kneel before me, for I am their king, and you are, after all, a representative of one of my provinces.
Can I try to sneak a look behind the curtain?
No. If
Go for it.
you were trying to walk away from Han, he's actually going to like pull you closer and be like, just play along for now. I will kind of gesture for the rest of the group to kneel.
I want to see.
I already was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nara, make me an awareness check.
Man, it's good I'm not here for this.
Yeah.
Awareness.
Awareness.
Wait, hold on. There's actually a gift for this.
Are we in green or yellow?
You are in yellow.
Okay. Let's see what that gets me. Ah! Can I?
Would you like to fail or would you like to succeed with a major twist?
Yes. Success.
So about that diplomatic incident.
Alright, so Nara, as you start to walk around, then Han immediately grabs you. You're like, oh, but I wanted to look. And you look over there, and you see, just from the shadows, there was all darkness around, and then there are 10 guys, 5 on each side of this palanquin structure, that step forward with these wide-brimmed hats, hands behind their back, all just staring directly at you, the small child.
Oh. I don't want to push this. Alright, I'm going to play along. I'm going to do what Dad says.
She can be taught.
She can be taught!
Yeah, give it 10
We'll
minutes.
kneel.
Okay, as you are all kneeling, you just hear this smug laugh come from behind the curtain. Just be like, see? Isn't it good when the subjects know their place, Mr. Bohan?
Man, that makes me
I'm
want
gonna
to do
assume he
things.
got his last name wrong on purpose.
Hmm?
I'm gonna assume he got his last name wrong in character on purpose.
I don't actually remember how to pronounce your last name, but you can assume it was intentional on his part.
Amazing.
It's Bahan. You said Bohan. Which
Mr.
honestly, I think is perfect in character.
Yeah, Mr. Bohan.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to jump over to the other group right now.
Sure.
Just let us fucking sit there kneeling for however long because the king demands us to do that shit.
Yep. Alright.
I'm glad we just keep getting more reasons to not particularly care about Boss Sensei.
Alright. So Kakan, Hotaru, and Hira. If my memory serves, you guys had found a little indoor seating place, either a small restaurant.
It
or
was a tea house.
It was a tea
Yeah,
house.
it was a tea house.
The tea house that knows how to not ask questions and only come and refill your tea at particular times.
Yes. And I believe you also said you got a carafe of wine.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, the four of you are sitting there. Spymaster had just done his face-changing trick in front of you guys. Not to draw attention to himself, but he did wave his hand in front of his face once, and you saw the silky smooth, featureless image. That's probably what he was. And then he waved it again, and once again you see the old man with the very angled and chiseled-in features. For those of you who need a visual of what he looks like when he has no face, think the question from DC.
Oh, I love the question.
Think that.
Mira is probably just going to muse out loud. Wonder how that impacts your chi pathways.
You should look at him.
I'm not going to ask him to do that. I'm just musing out loud about it.
Yeah, he's going to look back at you and say, pathways are fine, but I'm still a little empty on the inside.
How did you get here before us?
Well, I did tell you guys to ask that question.
You literally did.
I literally did.
Yeah, you did.
And since oh no, I was debating if I wanted to make a con roll for it, but I feel like that's a dick thing to do since I did tell you guys to ask this question.
You told us to ask this question.
Yeah. He's gonna look at you and say, "In my travels, while I was trying to reclaim my face, I found a way to access shortcuts from one place to another, depending on where you are in the world." Shortcuts. I know how to traverse between this world and the spirit world, and cuts down on a lot of foot traffic time.
You know how to physically move your body there.
Yes.
How do you do that?
I will note, there was just a very strong implication in Yura's question that he probably should catch.
What was the implication there?
You know how to physically move your body there.
Okay, that's what I thought you were going to... he said, yes, I'm physically here. It's a ritual of sorts. Requires knowledge of how to manipulate some spirit magics. And it's helpful to know a couple of people on the other side who are willing to offer aid as a guide.
And this knowledge you learned from the Mother of Faces? Or
this in
the
particular,
library?
This is something I learned from the library decades ago. Just so happens that it's very useful to have one shortcut always lead back to where I know the Mother of Faces likes to reside. Means I always have a easy place to head back to and an easy place to start my journey from.
Is this something you would be potentially willing to teach?
This is something that took years of study. I don't know if any of you would be able to pick it up in a short amount of time, unless any of you have already begun studying the different sigils and runes that spirits use.
Okay, Izzy, this is me just asking, is that my thing or Rissik's thing? It's one of the two.
It is one of the two, yes.
Oh, in character, I don't know.
Yep, in character.
A little bit more on my side, but I'm not 100% sure.
Out of character, it's a little bit more what Rizzik was studying into.
Gotcha.
You can handle a different aspect of what he just said, but the rune part, that's definitely all Rizzik.
Unfortunately, the member of our group who's been studying that is not with us right now.
Pity. We should have brought him.
He had to corral some things.
In the capital is effectively like the old wild west of the Fire Nation, where you had samurai wandering around working for houses. Even though they claim that everybody follows under the Earth King, it's... the law here is not the way the law should be. Things in Bossing Say are arguably worse than they are everywhere else in the Earth Kingdom. So if he's trying to corral things to keep order, he's wasting his time.
Saying this, but I suspect what he's trying to do is easier than keeping order in Bossing Say. But
Why do you have to jinx us, Nick?
because my character has a terrible opinion of Bossing Say. It is not being helped.
It's only going to get worse from here.
Can it?
So he's actually going to ask you guys the question of, since you mentioned the library, of why you decided to go there and what you decided to read up on. Are you all sharing that information with him?
I mean, I'm going to share the information of I went to seek knowledge of the spirits and was waylaid by stopping bandits from damaging and stealing from the library before I was able to research anything.
Yeah, I'm just going to mention Director Kresh's research that I found.
We'll talk about researching lava bending and the nature of ancient spirits.
Okay, so you're not hiding anything from him.
I am not telling him I'm not telling him exactly what I researched about ancient spirits.
Okay.
I am keeping the fact that I looked into, like, Bazoo. I do not mention that.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm not mentioning where the thing I actually learned there.
Yeah. Okay, he's just going to kind of look at you guys and be like... he's actually going to, like, narrow his eyes slightly at what Kakan said. Director Kresh had research in the library?
Yes, he had been there apparently multiple times. Used it for quite a bit of note-taking.
He's just going to kind of, like, sit back with just a, huh, expression on his face.
That surprises you?
I always thought him to be the kind of person who would burn his own notes so no one would be able to find them or hide them somewhere more secure. I didn't think he would just donate his findings to a place of learning where anybody could find it in theory.
Short time that I knew him, he seemed like a man that believed in progress in science more than anything. Perhaps that much has not changed, that he's willing to pass on his teachings.
There's also the question of whether or not someone else knowing Matt would actually harm him. This is something he already found when the project has completed.
Yeah, no, the Spymaster is going to look at you guys and say true. But if this is only a step towards his grander goals, what is he trying to do? That is the one thing I haven't been able to figure out about Kresh and Sycamore. I don't know what their end game goal is. I know they're planning something big. I know they have been developing technology and super soldiers and even dabbling into the arts of the spirits, trying to get to something. And it seems like all they're doing is just preparing for a wedding, which may or may not ever come.
I mean, at least from some of what it seems like they're doing, a supposition, they might be trying to figure out how the Avatar came to be and how to gain that power themselves.
perhaps.
To an extent, trying to figure out how to conquer the world.
Yeah, he's just going to put on his serious face, lean back, and he's going to just kind of like start playing with a couple of the rings on one of his hands, just like slowly twisting it around a finger as he... It looks like he's just losing himself in thought, trying to figure out what's going on. So unless you guys have another question for that, he's going to remain in this confused fugue state, trying to like fit more puzzle pieces together.
We wrote our other questions down somewhere.
I mean, most of them I think we already asked.
Yeah, I think you guys hit most of the important ones, though. Try to think if there's any others to ask.
I mean, he's... Oh, someone have something?
I was going to ask if there's anything that he can share about the runes that we can bring back to our other colleague.
He says he will happily show you what they are, but they're going to fade fast, and they can only be done during near portals of a Nexus. He
So
will...
under the city, then.
Oh, so you know about that. I'm curious how many other locations you know about, then.
If you've been to the library, I suspect you know the same number we do.
How many of them have you been to, is the question.
Man, that is actually a good question. Izzy, how many have I been to?
I believe the answer is 3 for you guys.
Now, remember all of the things from history and backstory.
You haven't traveled through on the spirit end of those. You've probably been close to a few of them in the Fire Nation, but you've never actually been to one of the Nexuses.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that's the question. Like, I went on a lot of pilgrimages throughout the Fire Nation to important sites.
Yeah. He will make you guys the offer of, if you want to go somewhere, he will fast travel you until a member of your party learns the skill. He will tell you that he is trying to find a reason to leave Bossing Say, because the upper city is really just trying to keep him under lock and key at this point.
Well, as I said before, I think if we don't have enough spirit or one of the areas where it could be, but besides that, go knock at Ember Island.
We can arrange it whenever.
At one point, it was an important facility.
When
It still is.
when you wish to head there, let me know.
Most likely, as soon as our business is concluded here.
Very well, Bob. Let's go find the rest of your comrades, and we can leave with haste.
It is a very bad idea for me in particular to go where they are right now. At least where I assume they still are, which is the palace.
Not if you're dressed appropriately. He's going to say, looking at the three of you, say, how do you three feel about enlisting in the Dai temporarily?
Little intake of breath.
There's just a look of disgust on that idea.
Well, I've already betrayed one kingdom military already.
Oh, no.
May as well go for a second.
I'm not saying actually enlist. We just need to find you guys some uniforms.
I would rather minimize further crimes I commit against the Earth Kingdom.
I don't know how else to sneak you into the upper city, but if you have a easier way to get up there, I'll leave it to you. I'm going to let you guys think about what you want to do with that, and I'm going to jump over to the other group.
I mean, my actual answer in character is Yura really doesn't want to be there for a variety of reasons. Would be like, nothing bad will happen. I'll meet you in the zoo at the end of this.
At the end of what? Sorry.
But when you get everyone out of the upper city, you're just like, I'll just meet you in the zoo. How much trouble could they get into meeting with the Earth King? Han's there.
And segue.
And segue. The portal is in the upper city, just FYI. You all know that.
Oh, that's
okay. That's the problem.
Break into the portal is different from find the group that's literally going into the palace.
There's also stuff we need to do before we leave. We probably want to do Spirit or Forging before we leave Bossing Sea, because we don't have a waterbender in the party.
Yeah, I will spend points on get Hama to come with us if need be.
Hama's the waterbender you would choose to take. Interesting.
Hama's the waterbender Yira would choose to take.
Fair. Jump back.
Actually, now that you say that out loud, maybe somebody like Arashi would be a better pick.
What the
That's.
I suspect there's a real, actual better answer, but it's neither here nor there.
Yeah. In any case, I'm gonna jump back over to the palace group. So 3 of you are kneeling. You see that there are 10 Daily agents surrounding you, and Han, you are still talking to the Earth King. I see you are stunned in silence by my greatness.
He is. Can't help himself.
You know what? This feels like a good point for a bio break. I'll be right back.
He's still behind the curtain, correct?
He's still behind the curtain. Is Dan here?
He just said he would be happy.
That was Nick.
No, in the chat.
Yeah.
Timing!
Get the segue. Right before segue was declared, Dan stepped aside.
Yeah.
I just realized Nick saying he has to go on a bio break means I can't. Damn. Okay. He's gonna just be looking down at the 3 of you, just be like, yes.
We need to Dan back before we continue this.
No, I'm just gonna say Dan is just sit there in stunned silence, and the Earth King is just going to address the 3 of you directly. It's good to see Earth Kingdom citizens showing me the proper respect that I deserve. You are clearly very well raised to understand that it is only appropriate that you never look me in the eyes. For I am the king, and you are not. You should.
I really want to gesture to Han and ask him, how subtly could he do a burst, make a breeze that blows the curtain into the fire? Because I isn't specifically hitting major points of contention, but he's still grading.
Yes. He's just going to continue as you're. He's like, because you have kneeled so well, I will allow you all to rise. So please rise.
I stand back up.
Your goat gorilla is incredibly well trained. How did you do that? I swear to God, when Dan gets back.
The goat gorilla is an incredibly intelligent being that has not needed us to guide it. Him.
Really? Show me how intelligent your goat gorilla is. Tell it to do tricks for me.
That's a bit demeaning.
I flipped the Earth King the bird twice.
How dare you!
What?
I demand you do tricks for me!
Dad told us to play along. Just shake my hand.
I shake Nora's hand.
Huh? Huh?
People shake hands all the time. There's nothing special about this. Throw the little girl up in the air and catch her.
I I do that.
What?
Amusing.
Does Mimwa just have to do whatever people tell him now?
I was gonna say,
Laura's not saying anything. I'm concerned
You
about
don't
that.
know.
We'll test this later when we're not rid of it.
Yeah.
How many Daily agents are in the room?
10.
See, I was being proactive, and I got them to come forward so we know how many people are here. See? Thinking ahead.
And your dad will be so proud when he returns with what you have managed to do to
What
avoid
have
an
you
incident.
done?
Oh look!
Oh
there
look,
he
he's
is.
finally back. Now that
Laura has avoided an incident by having Minhwa throw her up in the air and catching her.
yes.
I was being good. You told me to play along.
After this,
Sorry, I missed what you said, Dan.
I think that something nice for Minghua after this.
This is specifically when he told us to have the Gokurilla do tricks, and that got him Gokurilla flipping him off. So
I walked
Minhwa
back
has
in
a
on the
trick.
right time.
Now, Mr. Botan.
Okay, that one's pretty good.
You are going to be finishing up the project of my grand wall. I can't have it where the view is all wrong. It's going to say you just see this shadowy hand kind of like gesture outwards in the general direction where you know the big gap is in the wall. I was promised by your predecessor that this would be completed in a timely fashion. And you have yet to deliver. And this upsets me. The king of Ba Sing Se should not have to wait.
I signed to Rizik. I'm like, why do we care?
I mean, can sign back of like, well, we would prefer this city doesn't fall to the Fire Nation, though. So there's that.
Work will be continuing on the wall, though it would certainly go easier if we had more access to the city's manpower.
There's plenty of manpower in the lower city. Take what you will from them. You have my full support in this project.
Is it just lower city and upper city, or is there lower city, mid city, upper city?
Low, mid, upper. There's 3 tiers.
Just like Attack on Titan.
And do we know on what the actual available manpower at either of the at the various locations is? Didn't we lose a lot of the lower city available manpower because they got spirited?
Kind
but he's not going to want to hear about that.
Some of them also got hired and were refusing to work because other people were getting paid the same amount.
Yeah. The lower city is mostly refugees and, like, thugs. And that's what he's saying. You guys have his full support to work with.
You know, as someone who has had to do the lead large engineering projects before, or at least be involved in them, could I list off reasons on why we would probably want support from the either mid or upper city if we wanted to get this in a timely fashion? Because there is a difference between trained and untrained labor, and the thing that has been discussed many times is that there's not like you can't just solve problems by throwing more people at them.
Make me a persuasion check.
Okay.
Since I have business acumen, can I assist?
Yes, you may. Give him.
Meanwhile, I'm just starting back and forth.
Can I use principle of the gearhead because I'm discussing construction?
Sure.
I guess you just get a +1.
Can I use technology for this, or would this have to be lightning calculator?
I'll let you use technology.
Or sorry, inventions. You already said persuasion. So sorry, inventions would be the category of power.
Sure.
Okay. That is a 9 plus 1, a 10.
A 10. Completely succeeds. So as you're explaining this all to him, you see him, like, put one hand up and his head just kind of slumps into it. And then you, like, see his jaw just open really, really, really wide. Like, unnaturally so for a second. You just hear, like, a big-ass come out of him. He's like, yes, you make a good point. And he's going to snap his fingers, and one of the Daily agents is going to run behind the curtain.
What type of shoes did the Daily wear?
Stone.
Damn it.
That's canon. That's not even me making that up.
Yeah.
I know, but like, I wanted to see if there was any way of tripping him so he'd knock down the curtain.
Not likely. They have excellent ankle support.
Sean, you really need to start carrying, like, little, metal balls that you can just, like, throw on the ground and trip people.
No,
Yeah,
we've all
yeah,
watched
like-
Korra. He
Come on,
needs
come on.
pauldrons.
You want some coins?
There's stuff.
Coins
that I
are
can
metal.
use. I'm just trying to figure out things that are subtle to do.
One of you for
Because
make
if
me...
I just throw a metal ball, I'm pretty sure they're going to the 10 Daily agents in the room are going to notice.
All of you make me an insight check. Or one of you make me an insight check and somebody else can boost them.
I probably have the best insight.
I will boost. Could I use
I'm
either...
an idiot, so I'm not gonna bother to...
Could I use Could I use persuasion to help boost since related to dealing with people?
I'll allow it, sure.
Okay. This is Ron Tech level to give you like a micro expression reading device. So this is just a regular roll instead of helpful invention. So 6 is a +2.
Rizik has given you a fidget spinner.
Oh,
What?
It helps you
fidget
focus.
spinner is powerful.
It helps you focus.
I mean, I would be rolling better die if I was using gadget. If I was using the helpful invention, I meant moreover this being a one-time use uses many die rather than me being able to invent something. But if like you'll allow me to invent a fidget spinner to boost Han's focus, I'll roll that die pool. Instead.
I'm gonna use your 6. That's okay.
Yeah.
So Han, you got a +2, which pushes you into a 9. So as this one Daily agent walks back behind the curtain, you're actually getting some of his shadow in this curtain as well. Interesting note: the Daily agent also gets freaking huge as far as his shadow is standing behind this curtain. And like he stands next to this guy, and like he's telling him to write something down, and then he's like taking a rubber stamp and stamping it. You can tell from the 9 that since the two of them are standing next to each other, and you know how tall the Daily agent is, this guy is probably Minghua sized.
What does he look like?
It's just a silhouette of a shadow on a curtain right now.
I think I know what he's done.
But he's a big dude.
Have you given a name yet?
He has not given a name yet. But he's going to wander back forward, the Daily agent, with this scroll. He says, and he's going to like look at you and say, "Stamped with the approval of the Earth King." And he's going to hand you this written scroll, which is going to declare, it's a general proclamation that all people from the lower city will give their full support behind the completion of the wall under the overseeage of Han Botox.
Botox?
Amazing.
Botox.
As signed by His Royal Majesty, ruler of Ba Sing Se, King Bosco.
Fuck!
What?
Bosco.
That makes no sense.
Remember the Earth King's bear?
Yeah, that's why this doesn't make sense.
Well, The king is much larger than the Dai Li agent, so maybe it
And
does
we were
make
already
sense.
suspecting there was weird shit happening.
Minghua, go talk to
Bear
him in
can
his native
talk?
tongue.
I mean, they just need a dilate to act like they're talking for the king.
Sing the song of your people.
Just start signing.
I have
Maybe the
been
bear
signing.
knows. No, signing to the Earth King.
Oh.
You know, you now just hear the voice from behind the curtain saying, "It is time for you to leave now. My dinner will be here shortly."
Try just using animal speech to see if there's something on the other side of the curtain that you can talk to.
I have no reason to do that.
Yeah, it's sad that in character that wouldn't make sense to do.
Was Bosco ever a member of the Flying Opera Company?
No.
Yeah, I know it was not going to happen, but it would be really funny.
This is already an epileptic tree of, webs connecting to one another. I'm not getting it that deep into the weeds.
We've found Izzy's limit.
For now.
For now, I can change that. I dive into exactly as many weeds as I think I need to. So, Han, you have your proclamation, and with it also says that he is demanding that... Hold on a minute. Han, do you feel lucky?
That's never a statement.
Han, roll me a d30.
Okay.
Oh my.
Big dice.
Big dice.
You got this. We believe in you.
29!
Okay!
Ah.
So just so you know, yeah, this is actually kind of...
How do you roll a d30? How is that a thing?
Slash R number.
I mean, you can roll any size die in a computer.
Yeah.
I also actually own a D30.
I do too,
I did
actually.
at one point, but I lost it.
So,
Nice.
Han, according to the proclamation, the with your roll, the king has given you until the next new moon
Fuck.
to complete your project.
Not tomorrow, by chance.
Remember the moon's been completely fuckered?
The moon,
Yes, this is the reason why I say that.
the moon has been full for the past couple of days.
I mean, but it's also been changing erratically. So
Yes, it
until
hasn't.
until the next new moon may as well be like 10 minutes for all we know.
Yeah, it hasn't been phase changing. It's been consistently been full for the past week.
Yeah, but it's also been disappearing, which
Yeah.
might easily be bullshitted into a new moon.
It's true.
So we leave Bossing Say tonight before the tonight happens.
The moon is presently out with the sun right now.
So we leave Bossing Say before the night happens.
I'm honestly considering like getting the aid of like a lower ring mob and like having them like get to funnel money off the top in exchange for like getting this shit done quickly so we can fucking leave.
I'm gonna continue with my statement, but all right.
Yeah.
You can make choices, Han.
Also, you're just going to hear the king now say, "Be gone, for I grow weary of you, and my salmon will soon
Riches.
and my salmon will soon stop moving."
I can't believe you actually fucking did this.
He's done worse.
Going to kind of sign to himself. Oh, I want salmon.
I will get you some salmon when we're done.
Thank you.
You signed that, Minghua?
Yes.
So as you
More to myself, but it was visible.
as you are about to exit the area, the room, you just hear a like something very quickly has been thrown in your general direction, and like as you turn, smacking you on the side of the face is a half-eaten salmon. large teeth marks have taken a bite out of the meat in the mid area.
I'm just kind of staring at it, baffled. But I will happily stuff it into my mouth and continue to leave.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess this does bring up a lot of other questions, though. Like, is Bosco like a puppet ruler and just some random Dai agent talking for him? Can Bosco talk? Like, this matter is not settled.
No,
I mean,
it's not.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think he's getting at the fact that he'd have to be a spirit, because otherwise, that would mean bears live to like past 80 years old, which I don't think is true.
I mean, this could also be like the father of the Bosco. It could be the
Well,
father
also
of the Bosco.
the fact
Bosco
that
Senior.
Bosco
yeah,
Senior,
also
exactly.
the fact that Bosco is just a bear, and that doesn't happen in this universe.
That's true.
Clearly, Bosco's an isekai protagonist.
Also, he definitely understands sign language, so he could just be ruling.
It's true.
If you guys want to stick around Bossing Say longer, I'm sure you could unravel this.
I mean, no, not even a little bit.
No, that's
Look,
okay.
we're going to use the work order to get the wall built. Put someone else in charge of the project. Work on our spirit door, and get the fuck out.
Okay. I'm just going to say the rest of you, your group leaving the upper city just consists of Judy, saying, was King Bosco happy at your visit? I hope you do come again. If he was in a good mood, that means he likes you and would want you to come back. If he did,
Fine. He gave me and looked satisfied.
I'll just kind of give a very kind of diplomatic answer. We would certainly come again if it so pleases him.
Oh, excellent. Because if he was displeased with you, it would be very disheartening for me. She just has this wide smile on her face and just like staring unblinking towards you, Han. A fly is like fluttering by, lands on her opened, unblinking eye, and then floats away.
Meanwhile, looks extremely creeped out.
Have a pleasant day. Did you guys have any other questions for the Spymaster, or did you guys want to meet back up with the rest of your group? Kakan, Hotaru, Yura.
I think at this point we're just reading up.
We established he doesn't know like a ton about the spirits, right?
You established he doesn't know a lot about Kresh.
Okay. I'd like to ask him if he knows what he knows about any potentially powerful spirits that have gone missing recently, or in the last like couple of years.
I don't know any specifically that have gone missing. Most of the spirits that I have interacted with, I know are still around. I know others have been captured by White Lotus members. Is there a particular ancient you're concerned about?
No. Well, not one I know the name of. A spirit of trickery or chaos.
Trickery?
Or chaos.
Disorder.
Disorder and chaos is a progenitor spirit. Opposite order and light.
Any children of one. Potentially.
If they're the two progenitors, there are tons of children that they have. Again, just trickery and chaos seems rather broad. Anything more specific you could tell me?
Anything that has a fox-like form.
Most spirits have the ability to change their form at will. They just...
Any that favor it, then.
Let's roll his dice and see if he knows.
And I boost him?
Sure.
Okay, let's see. What am I going to use for this? I am going to encourage him to think creatively and be aware of how he's reacting. All right, that's a +2.
+2? Okay. So, minor twist. He's going to name a handful of spirits that like to take on fox forms. He's going to tell you that there are actually several spirits within the library that took on a fox form because of their cunning.
Yep.
So the Library of Wang Shitang houses several fox spirits. He believes that one of the more powerful spirits, not quite an ancient, showed up in a similar form, and that's why they decided to take that form, because he was a clever individual who likewise manipulated and outwit a pack of wolves at one point. Wolf spirits.
Does he know the name of the spirit?
He does not, because of the minor twist. Though he would say most of the foxes within the library would probably remember this individual.
Well,
Would there be any outside of the library that you think would know? Because, well,
If you can find any... usually when you are looking for more information about a spirit, the two ways you would go is you find spirits of things that are similar to them, meaning they're probably kin of some sort, or you find their exact opposite. Because most times spirits tend to be pairs. The spirit you are referencing close to anyone or anything in particular?
okay, guys, out of character, I'm tempted to just say the moon.
yeah. I think that's fair.
From our current understanding, was associated with the spirit of the moon at one point, but that stopped eventually.
I believe the moon has always been linked to the ocean.
And so the ocean might know more.
Is the spirit you're referencing the ocean? I'm unaware if it has ever taken on a form of a fox.
I doubt that it's the ocean.
Very well.
But if what you say is true, the ocean may be able to give us some method of going forward.
Very well.
I don't suppose you know which locations we would be able to most easily speak with the spirit of the ocean.
I'd recommend saying a prayer near the shore. And if it...
Do you think the dock of Bossing Say would work for that?
I think any large body of salt water will work as long as it is the ocean.
I'm asking this because it's a river that leads to Bossing Say.
Yeah, no, he is going to say it has to be open ocean. Because there are lesser spirits that would deal with rivers.
Well, perhaps we ought to take a divergence to the ocean, to a nexus near the ocean before Ember Island, although I suppose Ember Island itself is small enough that...
Ember Island is in fact an island in the middle of the ocean.
I actually had another question for him.
Yeah.
I don't know if I remember if I asked this last time. What does he know about the children of the Mother of Faces?
He does not know anything about them.
Okay.
He knows what you guys know. He knows what their spread is, their names and whatnot, but it's the same information you got from the library.
Okay. No idea where they would be right now.
I believe his answer last time was there would need to be at least a dozen of him to be able to try to track down all the spirits.
Do recall that he did give us an sort of offer to introduce us to the Mother of Faces.
Yeah, the Mother of Faces, he knows where she is. The children of the Mother of Faces, he's got no idea.
Perhaps one that's actually easier. Have you heard anything about the rest of my family who's still in the military? And what they've been up to?
Former commander, I actually have. He's going to say, he's going to push those small rimmed glasses higher up on his face and, just look at you intently. I believe you were made aware of from an invitation that two of your nieces were going to be married.
That I was.
How old do you know your nieces?
Fortunately. Well, the older one was born shortly before the war started when I was still wandering, and the younger was born after the war began.
Well, your older sister's ambition is what has driven this engagement.
Which one?
Oh, fuck me. Hold on. Where are my notes on this stupid thing? Your sister, General Tatsuya.
Well, considering the other things she's been up to.
As a chance to climb up higher in rank and actually have a seat in the royal household, both of her daughters were offered up for marriage. Prince Azulan picked the elder, Isla, and he said for the younger of your nieces, Alia, to wed his friend Commander Sung. That way they would, from this point forward, share a bond of blood.
Can't say I'm surprised that Tatsuya was the one who was pushing for that.
You will be happy to know that your younger niece, and the Commander Sung have actually hit it off rather well. Since they were declared engaged to one another. I say that they might actually enjoy a happy lifetime together.
You're just going to briefly raise a glass to perhaps there can be any amount of joy from this.
Your elder niece, Isla, how much direct interaction have you had with Prince Azulan? I was going to say, looking at
I
all
have
three of you.
attempted to kill him.
As any good guardian would at this point. He's going to say, he's also going to look at Kakan and Hotaru. Have you had any interactions with the prince?
Only indirectly. I was more concerned about the general's son at the time.
Well, the prince has taken on all of his father's worst traits, only to be tempered by the high command of generals, giving him endless access to privilege and, in short, just making him completely insufferable. I'm shocked that every child of a high command general is not acting this way. And yet some of them turn out okay.
Some of them remain ignorant.
Ignorance in this case, while not completely acceptable, is still better than the alternative.
In that, you're not wrong.
And I'm saying that as someone who trades in information. The mindset that the royals of the Fire Nation have set goes against every precedent that was written into law during the time of Avatar Seto.
They have destroyed much of our own culture and history.
Exactly. And I hope one day there will be a royal who will be able to bring us back to the nation we once were. Guide us into the future without needing to force ourselves on the rest of the world.
Giannis, perhaps these free city pirates actually have the right idea.
Well, but our duty is to the Fire Nation, not necessarily to the ones who are running it.
How true, how true. I'm, at this point, fairly familiar with what Cowrie's been up to and what she has... What was the phrase? Accepted as the price of progress? Has Mayi managed to avoid any of this?
Well, seeing as how she's the only one of your family who did not end up in the military, I think she's been avoiding it to the best of her ability.
Izzy, that one was also in the military.
Was your entire family just military?
No, these are the other three who joined.
I thought you only had 3 sisters.
Hold
on, let me
I gave you the list of names for the ones who had joined the military.
Hold on a minute.
And left, the ones who had not joined the military partially up to you.
Okay, you know what? Make my life a little easier then.
If the answer is got injured and left, you're going to actually, raise a glass to that decision.
No. You're not allowed nice things. You should know this by now. Last I heard of her, she was part of a campaign with Commander Izuka and Commander Masako. The Dragons of Dusk and Dawn.
Are they on the list?
They are.
Oh, they absolutely are. Yura's just going to drain her glass. Thank you for the information. Why did I, for a moment, have hope?
Makes you feel any better. I don't know what her exploits are. I just know that that is where she's been assigned.
I am well aware of what the exploits of the generals are.
Well, it will also interest you that those commanders are no longer stationed at the Southern Water Tribe. They were recalled back to the Fire Nation to be deployed elsewhere. Where, though? I don't know.
What is the current state of the Southern Water Tribe?
There really isn't much of a state of it currently.
That was what I expected.
I don't believe they have any waterbenders left, and if there are any cities left, they have recessed far beyond what our ships can reach. There are still small pockets of little villages that outline the coast, but they're of no threat and of no consequence because they have no resources.
I only hope many of them are holed up in some iceberg somewhere.
Would make this 100-year period go by much quicker. Do you guys have any other questions for the Spymaster?
I do.
That's an odd phrasing that
Yes.
you used.
Mm-hmm.
I have two questions for him.
Sure.
First, I want to ask him why he was so confident he would have been able to beat us back at the circus. Is he a bender? I asked him, is he a bender of some type? Because, not to brag, but we are not an easy group to take down, and he seemed pretty confident he could just do it on his own.
I don't know if I was a bender in a previous life, but thanks to these, and he's going to just show his rings. And since I've spoken with all of you, studied you, I have at least access to what you can do.
Like, those are the same type of rings you gave to Terran.
Yes. And unlike the boy, even though I'm not a natural bender, bending with these just comes naturally to me.
I'm confused, though. If you said you might have been a bender in a former life.
I don't remember anything about my life.
But
before
is that something you would lose even if you lost your memory?
I don't know. Again, I lost everything about me. I became no one. To this day, it still feels like there's a piece of me missing. But I've long since given up hope of ever getting that piece back.
Izzy.
Small price to pay after all the crimes I've committed, furthering this war, trying to make it end quicker with less bloodshed. And half the time it leads to more bloodshed. Yes, Nick.
Izzy, I've wandered a great number of areas and heard lots of different stories about bending. I'm pretty sure at some point I would have heard about people who lost their memory or destroyed the pathways in one of their arms or similar things for what can and cannot damage bending.
If you fuck up your chi...
Oh no, I was going to use a principle to see what I can get from that.
Roll it. I think that is the third principle of the night. Yep.
It's a better, yep. Oh.
A 7?
Yep.
If you fuck up your chi in any way, it can affect bending. Amnesia's pretty commonplace from, places you've been to. Anybody who falls from a high height and, hits their head. But that normally just affects memories. Like, if a bender has bending, they can still usually bend.
Well, though I meant more like, is it a thing where they may still be able to, but they may have to rediscover it?
For amnesia, definitely the case. For messing with some of their chakra points, they never really lose it. It just takes on a different form. For people who are messing around with spirits, you haven't heard a lot of those stories, but like the focus on those stories was never whether or not the people can bend. It was more of a cautionary tale of don't fuck with spirits, don't get yourself in, don't make deals with things you don't understand.
Well, depending on what happened, amnesia can cause temporary loss because even though you may still be a bender, you don't have the memories, the reflexes, just brief complex gesture that creates a flicker of beautiful flame.
In a tea house?
It's like a single spark.
He's going to look at you and say, I appreciate that, but I think if I was a bender, I'm sure I would have rediscovered it in the past 20 years.
However, if something happened that damaged your chi pathways, or any of your meridians, then it could cause permanent damage or even loss of bending. There have been a large number of tales of what happens when someone pushes it too far, harms themselves, and their bending is forever changed or even lost.
Again, I feel like it's no less than I deserve at this point.
I'm surprised you never thought to ask the Mother of Faces.
I have.
For all we know, she was the one who took it from you in the first place.
The Mother of Faces is many things. A liar, she is not. A spirit that answers things in the most straightforward manner, she is not. I'm sure if you meet her, you will understand what I mean.
While pouring herself another glass, you're just going to look up at him briefly. The way you phrased something was interesting.
What was that?
Well, you said that the Southern Water Tribe being in an iceberg would make this 100-year period go by fast, which I've thought a great deal about time, more so recently, thanks to various discoveries, but even among powerful benders, there are precious few that see their first century.
Exactly my hope. If I was to go to sleep tonight and wake up, I think it would be a better place if most of the Fire Nation High Command was no longer there. Same is true for the Earth Kingdom. And while I don't know the status of what the Northern Water Tribe's leadership currently acts like, I'm confident it can't be conducive towards lasting peace. The old regime everywhere needs to be swept out.
On that we agree. But just sort of staring down into the cup of liquor.
Yep. As you're doing so, there's going to be the doors slam open in front of the tea shop, and there are going to be two Daily agents that are wandering in, carefully looking at all the patrons. One of them is carefully scanning the room, looking at all the patrons' faces. The other one is going to the owner of the tea shop.
Just looking back up at Spymaster, there are techniques that seem like they could allow someone to actually reach that potentially. I was wondering, with your knowledge and the gifts that you've been given, if that was one of them.
Freezing myself in an iceberg? Not something I will joke about that, but that is not something I would actively try. I fear what happens to the world if there wasn't some...
But longevity, legacy, leaving something. I'd thought about leaving something behind that actually was worthwhile, and then found something that says perhaps it doesn't have to be leaving it behind. Just wondering whether those are things that you had figured out as well. To actually last.
I have already made my legacy, Ira. I don't feel the need at this late stage in the game to change it. I just want to leave the world better. Even if no one knows I'm the one who did it.
Freezing a glass again. I've made perhaps 3, but it seems our time is growing short.
Indeed. I should get out of here before they tear this tea shop apart looking for me.
Izzy, I'm just gonna spend a collection to knock at the window and let a breeze in.
Okay.
For him to be able to get out.
Yeah. He's going to leave you guys, and he's going to look at Kakan afterwards and say, Captain, when you decide to leave, let me know, and I'll be able to take you elsewhere.
Kakan will just nod.
If you'll excuse me, I need to go change my face. And with that, Diley agents will probably leave, and that will be the end of you guys seeing the Spymaster for a bit. I am going to say you guys are probably going to meet up. I think everybody has like 1 or 2 big projects that they wanted to work on over the course of a couple of days. Is that correct? Was there anything else you guys wish to do in Bossing Say proper?
And if we're time skipping to the next day, it's work with Rizek and the White Lotus on figuring out the spirit or things. The prior night, if Kakan and Hotaru don't drag her out, you're just going to sit there finishing that jug for quite some time.
Fair.
Kakan will drag her out.
Yeah, I also have some more research to do probably before White Lotus, since I want to talk with Thomas on how energy bending works, since that seems like it's important to Spiridor.
Okay. We're going to finish up the tracker and probably this session with you guys having like this is not all happening in one day. This is over the course of several days what you guys are going to be doing. So, who would like to go first? Personal projects. Don't everybody jump at once.
Jump! Jump!
I'll go. I wanted to ask Thomas for an explanation a bit on how his energy bending works. Since it's how he gave me bending, and it also came across in the Spiritor and related research.
Mm-hmm. He's going to explain it to you as though he's manipulating the energy that you had inside of you, but he's also putting a little piece of himself in you. So, like, he's sharing the energy that he has to manipulate metal. And by just giving you a slight transplant of a little bit of that ability, your own energy feeds it, manipulates it, and is able to do it. Like, you've seen Thomas do metal bending before, and he can do it for a lot longer and affect a much larger area than you can, without much effort. For you, you'd actually need to, like, you can get up to that point, but you would need a lot more training, because it's not an innate thing.
Do you want to poke me about this, Rizdik?
For general training or related to energy bending?
General training, and also, like, it probably at least partially relates to the chi things that Yura's been doing the whole time.
Yeah, we'll probably follow up and ask you about it. I'm kind of wondering if then with the way that they were discussing energy bending and related to forging, if that means that it would actually be physically putting part of the Smith's spirit into the creation, which shows up metaphorically a lot in writing, but usually not literally.
Not part of your spirit, but part of your energy. In a sense, you're attuning yourself to that particular bit of metal.
Izzy, may I use Principle of Fire for being very in tune with how that works as it relates to fire to try and understand and explain this?
I will allow it.
Well, one moment.
So a 6.
No, let's redo that. I will spend a collection on this and get a 10.
I like how you re-rolled so much and then it's just like, well, and now for just collection.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. you're getting the same thing I just explained to Sean, but the difference here is you can actually like heat up and like effectively poke Rizik's chest, like having him literally follow his chi pathway. And with this heated up energy inside of you, Rizik, you can actually feel your own chi flowing inside of you. How like it's not stagnant. Even if you're standing still, your energy inside of you is moving.
It's flowing. It's important it flows. Don't block it off randomly in one limb now that you're aware of it. It's not good for your body.
Was I doing that before?
No, but now that you're aware, you can. Think of it like holding your breath. If you never thought to do it, you probably wouldn't, but now that you think of the ability to do so.
You just hear Thomas looking up at you, and he's just like, why would you say that? And he just starts breathing in and out rapidly, focusing on his breath now.
We'll give Thomas a pat on the head.
Thomas will nuzzle your leg.
The terrible thought of, oh no, now I'm thinking about whether or not I'm breathing.
Yep. Who would like to go next? Han, Nara, Minghua, Kakan, Hotaru?
I would say
Dan, what are you doing?
I mean, I think my project's probably the most obvious. Like, I do want to get the wall done somehow.
I will help you, because I want to talk to you privately.
Okay.
Alright, I guess that means... Do you guys want a private channel for this?
Oh, yes. Oh, I most certainly do.
Yeah, I think we need a private channel for this, actually.
Alright, drop down to game time, the two of you. You should have access to it. Alright, here we go. Be right back, everyone.
Izzy is joining us. Good. Okay, I don't think this will be a super long conversation, but it needs to happen. Yeah, Dan and I talked about doing this a little at the party, so...
Okay.
So I will help you with the wall, but as I do, I'm gonna kind of just be asking you like how things went with the Earth King.
I'll give a brief summary of that particular shit show, and that we got some decree from the king about the wall for all the good that actually is gonna do.
And I'm gonna kind of dance around it for a bit, but you know what I'm gonna ask.
In character or out of character, I know what you're gonna ask.
Yeah. So I'm like, so have you gotten to talk to Nara yet?
I haven't, and quite frankly, I don't know if we should for the time being. There's a lot of... There's far too much at risk, not the least of which is Nara herself.
She deserves to know.
I know she deserves to know, but I also don't know what Bazu will do if we tell her.
I don't know if I care if what Bazu does. I understand that he's powerful. I understand he could hurt her. But I don't think he wants to hurt her. And frankly, I'm sick of spirits toying around with people. I'm sick of people... I'm sick of people lying to those they care about just to keep them safe. It's been my whole life, Han. I don't think I'm any better off for it. I'm not going to do that to Nara.
Look, I can't stop you, but...
No, but you should be the one.
Risk here.
You should be the one to do it, Han. She loves and cares about you. She'll listen to you more than anyone else.
I wonder about that sometimes.
I'll put it this way, Han. I don't care what you or Yer says. She deserves to know the truth. And if you don't tell her eventually, I'm going to, regardless of what happens.
Understood. I do want to tell her, and I will at some point. But at the very least, we need to get ourselves in a less precarious position, because if Bazu goes ballistic while we're still in the city, I don't even want to know what would happen. He's far too much of an unknown factor.
I think for a minute. I'll give you until after we talk with the Mother of Faces. If I don't have better answers by then, I don't have a better reason not to. I'm going to tell her if you haven't.
Fine.
All right, let's keep working on this wall.
Yeah.
So are you just trying to get your workers, the refugees from Omashu, to help, or are you also trying to convince the assholes?
We'll try and convince the assholes. Basically the plan is can I fairly assume that in the terms of the remaining project that we have left, I have pretty much whatever money I need to make this work?
You have enough monies. The raw materials, some of them were damaged during the attack from the spirits. But you have enough money to get this going. It's probably going to take longer than to the new moon, but that is assuming that the moon follows a typical lunar calendar.
So basically what we'll do is we'll set up a generous but sane payment structure for how, unlike Frankdo's absolute shit show of a payment plan for the workers.
Roll me persuasion or business acumen to see how many people you convince. And also, if you're not planning on sticking around, who are you leaving in charge?
That's a good question.
That is good at leading people in a building project.
Can I boost him?
You may boost.
I'm just trying to think of who we even have access to that can do that.
You've met several NPCs.
I mean, I'm for Boomy maybe doing it.
Construction is a bit out of Boomy's wheelhouse. He is a good leader, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think Boomy would be good as obviously Boomy can do the work, some of the work. I think he'd be good as someone who's kind of on the ground with the workers, kind of motivating people, not as a project manager.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is we've met some NPCs, but then we've also have people who are up in the upper ring now.
Yeah. Well, none of your NPCs are in the upper ring. They're on the middle ring. The hospital's in the middle ring, as is the zoo.
Right. Right. God, I'm trying to remember who we actually had from Frankdo's group who's not compromised, and B has leadership experience.
I mean, Sagan could maybe do it.
The ringmaster would not be a bad option.
Yeah.
There's another. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to count Hotaru's role as a boost. I'm going to actually use the 5 as a recommendation for you guys.
All right.
So your best options for this, Boomy is a good leader. He just doesn't have the managerial side of it. Sagan has the managerial and the leadership end. He's a very weak individual, though. He's weakened. He's elderly. Not sure if that would command a lot of respect, especially from people. You have Stone Jin Wei, Earthbender, good at managing, but it's got to be done his way. And then you also have Pops.
Wait, who's Pops again?
The cabbage merchant.
Yes. Well, does Pops actually have construction experience?
He knows how to manage. He's effectively a businessman because he's run his own cabbage stall for decades.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, he's not a bender, which is the downside to him. Similar to Sagan, but unlike Sagan, he can be on the ground.
Honestly, I put him with the workers in part so he could kind of start deprogramming some of them, or getting them on his sides. That might not be the worst option. But then again, that would also draw a lot of suspicion to the project. Well, I could have him be the actual like showrunner, but have Booby kind of be the public face.
Not a bad idea.
That might actually work. You know what? That seems tenable. Let's go with that.
We should go back to the other room soon.
You do.
Yeah, because like I don't think I want to put that much strain on Sagan.
All right, back to general, you guys.
Oh, wait.
Just something that can run, a good 60 frames per second. Then
Yeah.
you don't need top of the line. Plenty of older monitors can do that.
And they never found the body.
Actually, as a heads up, of the NPCs you had available, that was the best option you guys could have picked.
I feel like if you have Hotaru and you're trying to hide a body, it's actually really easy.
I know,
mean,
right?
True.
I
With
can
an
even
earth-
draft
yeah,
that
with
for you.
Yep.
And the Earthbender makes it easy.
All right, Kakan, Nara, and Minghua. Who wants to do something?
I want to test the limits of Minghua doing everything I say.
Oh no!
Oh,
Yeah, I was gonna say Nara always wants to do
I was
something.
gonna say Nara has not lit anything on fire this session.
Oh no!
All right.
Do I have to intervene? Am I Nara's new babysitter? I took her out for ice cream, and now I'm the crutch.
All right,
Are
Well,
you
no,
the other
like,
beef
This
party
is
again?
figuring out how messed up Meemaw got.
Nara,
so, like,
Minghua,
this actually is-
Kakan. I guess this is what's going on. What are you guys doing?
Oh boy.
I assume I'm just stumbling upon
where are
something
we right
horrible.
Where do you want to be? You guys have like a week.
Oh,
In a
Infinite.
whole city.
Infinite Anya memes, Anya forever.
Ooh, is there an underground fighting ring somewhere? Like
Oh
the
my
one top of it? Sending Minghua into the underground fighting league.
Okay,
what?
time out right there, child.
Whoa!
Why would they let? Why
Roll
would
me
they let
untrained-
They
League?
let
Untrained power. Untrained.
Toph compete in one of those. This is not unprecedented.
Roll.
As a blind person.
Roll. Yeah, you need to. If you want to do this, you need to find an underground fight ring first.
I want to leave the city at some point, please.
What are you going to argue? What do you argue?
Hold on. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this.
Andy, Wex the player is begging you. We want to leave this city.
I
Okay.
kind of want to see as the rest of
Do
us.
not
do other
encourage
stuff.
her.
Look, the memes have spoken. We need to at least entertain the idea.
Must we?
Yes.
What memes? Yes.
I
Okay.
mean, I was gonna say
Okay.
the memes have spoken.
I'm going to go to Minghua, and I'm going to, get real close and, like, whisper Minghua's ear and be like, I know you're such a good fighter. I really, really think you could win in a fight club and win an amazing belt that we could give to Dad. And now that he's the king, it's really hard to get him presents. So we have to find really obscure stuff that he can't just buy, like Grandpa can. Has to be something that we earn, and I think you can win one. I think I heard whispers from some of the kids downtown of a fight ring, and I think you could win. What do you think?
How many children has Nara caused to die in fighting rings?
Is this all a convoluted plan to get me a Father's Day present?
Yes! I need to get Dad a Father's Day present!
God damn it!
What on earth? What on earth?
That exists in this universe, doesn't it?
Andy, I want to do the plot, please.
Well, I guess now.
It's chaos!
I
No
guess
plot.
now.
Now, when you were
Only
first
Zool.
doing this, you are testing the fact that Meemaw seemed to do whatever was ordered
I mean,
earlier.
look, she's got a point about it being really hard to find a king unique presents, so I guess I'm boosting Nora to find a fucking fight club.
Oh my god.
Minghua,
Mingwa, you're smarter than this.
private channel.
Please.
A channel for who?
Hopefully the mind control helps.
I don't even know if I can find them in time. I don't know what they're doing.
We're following the whispers of the children.
I'm just hoping the mind control saves us.
No, this is not Hocus Pocus. Do not listen to Sarah Jessica Parker.
I'm burning an inspiration.
Okay,
I'm burning
you
the
know
thing.
what? Actually,
I want to make one of those a 10.
I mean, you probably shouldn't listen to
Izzy-
Sarah Jessica Parker and Hocus Pocus
Izzy,
anyway.
can I make 2 rolls?
Yes.
One for deception to make it seem like the hinder I'm applying is actually a boost.
Sure.
No!
No, you're helping.
We need to get Dad a present!
Since we've established that animal control controls children, I'm going to
Yes.
argue that for
Best
for
of
bamboozling Nara.
I'm burning one of my things. I want to make one of my D10s a 10.
Okay, that's
Collection
fine.
or
No, you
your
know, hold on.
save?
I'm going to invoke something. I'm using a fucking collection to modify this. There is no Fight Club in Ba Sing Se.
No!
And then for the hinder will be my usual.
You can use collections to affect the story. I am invoking it.
Okay, Wex. There are presently no fight clubs in Ba Sing Se set up at this point.
All you're doing is encouraging her to start a fight club.
That's true. I could get all the kids together. We can start one.
You absolute fool.
Point is,
If
I am
there was one that existed, she would go there. They'd go a couple of rounds. They'd be done. But now they have to start a fighting organization.
Now I have to go around to all the slums and find all of the fighters. And I have to find all of the scraggly children so that they're willing to go run and find more people for me.
Is Kenzie becoming the Artful Dodger? What's happening here?
Look,
She kinda was.
I'm going to be doing my best to, try to redirect her to find a unique present for Han. Maybe we can find the Moon Spirit.
I want them help!
Oh, okay, I know. Okay, so here's how this is going. Let me see. You're blind to her with a minor twist, Minghua, and you're boosting her. You didn't use a
No, I fucking hindered Nora.
Hey,
I'm making her think it's a boost.
You can't hear my open air quotes. You are boosting for a -1, and Nara, you threw a collection at this shit.
Fuck yeah, I did.
Izzy, it's pronounced helping.
Yeah, so you got an 8 -1 to a 7. So action succeeds, but with a minor twist. And Wex has declared, using a collection, that there are no fight clubs presently set up. So question, Kenzie,
My gift to my father is creating a fight club. I got it.
Yes. The gift to a ruler of a nation. Organized crime.
Look, giving an experience is much more likely to be unique than giving an item.
That's very true. Thank you.
All right. So Nara, where are you trying to set up this stupid fight club? In the middle ring or in the lower ring?
Lower, of course.
Oh boy.
Way more options.
Okay, so you're gonna actually run into a group of kids down there, and they'll be like, "So wait, what are you trying to do?"
God.
I don't want to punch out kids.
We're not gonna be punching children. We have to find their parents.
And punch them, apparently.
I mean, Kakad, you will probably have smelt that there's like something in the air that's amiss, and you will can roll me like to track them down.
There's evil on the wind.
There's evil on the wind. So Nara, you're talking to these kids, and they're just like, yeah, no, our dads.
I'm trying to like feel them out to see if there's okay. So let's play it this way. I don't know that there's not a fight club, so I'm taking Minghua to the lower ring so that we can poll the children to see if there is a fight club to find out there's not a fight club. How about that, Wex?
Sure.
Yeah, they're just gonna look. There's no fight club. They got a lot of work to get done. Like a lot of, my dad was just hired for helping finish up the wall, and there's another kid there. Just like, yeah, my dad's the same way, but he would totally beat up your dad. No, my dad would beat up your dad. No, my dad would beat up your dad.
Can I come in at this point?
You may come in at this point. Yes.
I will beat
my
up
uncle
all
would beat
your
up all your
dads.
dads.
Forever.
Kenzie and I have the same brain, apparently.
So what
is going on here?
My dad could beat up his dad. No, he couldn't.
Okay, I'm going to see a bunch of children, and I see Nara at the head of this group of children.
With a wicked grin on their face.
Can I make 2 and 2 equal 4 here?
You're not stupid. Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to go up. First off, I'm going to give the kids the nastiest go home children glare I can give with my big scarred face.
How many of them start crying?
Ziggy, roll me intimidation.
No!
Yes!
Don't make my new friends cry!
Just tell me I'm good at this. You know what? I'm gonna use. Yeah, I'm gonna use my classic intimidating trick of I'm gonna use nuclear just a little bit to make it seem like the air around me is steaming.
Sure.
Not enough for it to actually look, but you know what I mean. Like,
yeah, no, I know.
Literally like somebody who's like steaming mad. I'm wearing yellow right now. Yeah.
You're in yellow. Yeah. I want to see
Not
this.
that it matters for me, but
Four. My Toph. There is no Toph. She's not alive. She hasn't been born yet.
Another Toph! There could be another blind bandit!
Is 4 enough for children?
4 is success, but with a minor twist. So you're going to see some of these kids are going to start breaking down, crying. A couple other kids are going to start. We need to tell Dad. No, we need to tell the foreman. We need to tell Boomy and Pops. Oh my gosh! And like they're running.
I'm a little more scared of the mention of Pops. What's Ditto doing here?
And I was gonna say, if people are confused about Boomy, Boomy can get some.
But you know, the kids are scattering as you start steaming.
I'm going to be looking down like you know what parents do when parents they like get up like right by like knees to their head, so they have to crane their neck up to see their face.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna call out to them. I'm gonna wait. My uncle's really nice. Wait, which one's
Nara.
he's really nice. I swear.
There's like 2 kids back that are just like crying, like trying to hide in his shadow, getting as far away from Kakana as possible.
Yes, Uncle.
What do you say? We
I'm
go back to
sorry,
your
but-
father, and we get you some more ice cream.
Okay.
Rewarding the behavior.
I was about to say the same thing.
Let's go, Mingla. You can carry me.
You have to promise first not to raise armies of children ever again.
Specifically children. Got it. I promise.
Kit, just
was not going any other way.
Kit, just cross your fingers and it doesn't count.
I'm crossing my toes.
Excellent.
Got it.
I've taught you well.
I'm just gonna wordlessly pick her up at like the scruff of her neck and just like carry her out.
I wave behind him to all of my new friends that are crying. Bye! I'll see you again!
You just hear as you guys round a corner, 2 of the kids that are crying look at each other and just be like, "We're never gonna see her again."
Do they think I'm gonna die?
Apparently. All right.
Oh, that was amazing.
Okay, next round. Who's
Sheer panic that I brought to the party. I apologize, but that was so worth it.
who still has shit? I don't even know.
Oh god. Well, I've done my bit for the evening. I'm done.
All right, who wants to go next? Again, this is several days.
Who still has to go this turn?
Everybody's gone at this
We
point.
had a week and you wouldn't let me start a fight club amongst children, Wex.
I want to leave the city.
Also,
in the process of getting the fuck out of the city, what do you guys have left that you want to do with this?
Also, don't say that like it's a reasonable thing to want.
For my character, it is. This is what I do.
Does your character even know what a fight club is?
Side note, Dan, I am much more convinced of my decision now. Just so we're clear.
I have gathered groups of children for things in the past. This is no different.
Yes, and then we almost killed them.
But
This is no different.
But we found out that they were all ghosts. So
And we know exactly how much Nora cares, given that some of her earliest quotes about such children were, "If he snitches, he's dead, and if he dies, he dies."
Yep.
All right, who wants to go next? Anybody?
If we're
Can
back
it be me and Rizek making weapons?
Yes.
yeah,
Abso-fucking-lutely.
I'll go to the use what have learned from the various things and learned of the energy bending to start work on the weapons. Meaning, we have to find the members of the White Lotus so we can get waterbenders.
I still haven't found a present for Dad for Father's Day.
I still support also asking Hama, but Hira is not.
We can ask Hama as well.
You guys know 3 waterbenders. You can ask any of them.
Okay, there's Hama, Arashi, and
Caden.
Caden is in fact the one that more people should ask to join us, and probably not Hama, but my character is irrational in these regards.
Which one do we think is the better waterbender?
I mean, Caden or Arashi would do fine.
I don't think it's about better waterbender. I think it's about will not murder people.
Yeah.
That's fair. Arashi actually had already volunteered to work on help us develop the Spiridor, so I'll grab him and Samael, and then start rounding up the members of party as needed to work on the gear.
Okay, well, for the final part of this, or for the initial part of the smelting, when you're refining it, is when you need everybody. So your waterbender is going to be Arashi, your firebender is Zero, who's going to be your earthbender, and your airbender.
Hotaru and Han.
Okay, you guys okay with helping with this?
Yes.
Yep.
I haven't heard from Han yet. Dan.
Alright, what is...
We were asking you to get on a vacation from babysitting duty to forge weapons.
Okay.
Okay, so if you remember from last time, I'm just going to have you make... Well, the 3 of you, I would like you to make me a bending roll.
Is this an overcome?
This is always an overcome, yes.
Then definitely principle of great power.
Yep. And you said you're using Arashi. This is his die size. Okay.
Am I using airbending or am I allowed to use coin bending?
You need to use airbending for this one, unfortunately.
Okay.
It needs to be elements.
What zone are we in?
You are in yellow.
Yeah, I can't wait until we get to green again, because we don't get to green again.
Yeah, you don't.
Alright. Is it worth burning a +3 on this?
I have no
Probably.
idea what the final score stuff is.
Yeah, I'm running. This is going to determine how many weapons you guys can make and what kind of quality they are going to be.
I'm going to burn a +3 on this.
No, no, I rolled already, but I can always confuse the collection anyways. Can I have burned a... does a 12 make a difference?
Yes, 12 is the
I'll
best
burn a
one.
+2. I'll burn a +2 then and got
Is
it.
he principle of fire, and I'll burn a +2 to get up to 12.
Okay.
I got a 9.
Okay, still 6. So let's see. You've got a success, success with a minor twist, and 2 success beyond beliefs. So really, really good. You have Thomas there. He can give you a boost to Rizek if you wish.
Okay. We'll roll for Thomas. I then have the +4 I have for this specific purpose.
Okay, so you have a total of +5. I would like you to make me a crafting roll. What exactly are you trying to turn the spirit ore into is the main question I have.
Okay.
Ooh, we had this conversation on Sunday.
Yeah, we did.
Discuss this a couple of times. One of the things is that I need a little bit of spirit ore to do the metallurgy on Yera's weapon to make it a spirit ore sword. But one of the other things was thinking about was doing, you know how there are the airbender gliders?
Mm-hmm.
Making one of those that instead of being a staff that fight with is moreover a polearm that you would be fighting with, because I think then I could make a weapon that has the most cross utility to the party, because it would be an airbender weapon with the glider, but like if I give it a compartment to spell marbles and stuff like that, like how the one Aingot had a food storage area, then it can be used for Nara Chaos. With it being a polearm, then that could be used by Meanwhile or other people as well. I don't really have a good explanation for how it can be used by Hotaru. I apologize, but we can work it in there.
Okay, so you remember how I told you had 6 units effectively to work with?
Yeah.
That's probably going to take at least 3 units if you're making the whole damn thing out of Spirit Ore.
Can't we just all get a weapon?
Yeah. I'm fine
You're
with that.
giving me a weapon?
No.
This is a shared weapon for the party.
Oh.
Okay,
That's
so
Yeah, I believe Nara is the one we're mostly not giving a weapon to.
How dare you?
Okay, so I'm getting 1 unit you said to fix up Yura's sword, 3 units to make this very elaborate fancy polearm thing that can drop marbles, turn into a air glider for anyone with airbending. Which I'm allowing because you got 2 succeed beyond beliefs. What are you using your last 2 units on?
I feel like your idea for Ming-Hua was fantastic.
You should make that.
Which one was the idea for Meanwhile?
Oh, are you making me Knuckles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, if I can do some motorized knuckles, then...
But just brass.
Motorized!
Okay, yeah, brass
Just brass knuckles.
Yeah, you don't need to make her
I
a
kind of
power
wanted the
fist.
idea of
Yeah.
mech arm, but I believe that's too complicated.
Brass Knuckles is 1 more unit you could have 1 unit left to fuck around with.
We were gonna say one that might be a Rizik and Kakan can both use Fire Nation basic training weapons for the final one.
Is there any actual use of making tools out of Spirit Ore?
I mean, if we're making requests, I could use a bow.
When you want the arrows?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
If I made... Quick question. If I made tools out of Spirit Ore, would they be particularly useful for anything or not?
I mean, if you had any reason to futz with spirit stuff, they'd give you a benefit.
Okay,
to that,
then
but
I
not-
want a Spirit Ore made a set of tools for futzing with spirit stuff. Then
Okay.
Fine. That's okay.
Yep.
Is everyone okay with that? Kind of a couple unique weapons, a weapon that can be used by the majority of party, and a tool set to use for when we're fucking with spirit stuff.
Sounds good to me.
Seems legit.
I support us doing something non-deadly with Spirit Ore.
I mean, as long as your multi-tool can turn into a hammer.
Okay. So this is Principle of Gearhead. What die should I be using for this? I mean,
you tell me.
Inventions is a good one, and then I don't know if I should be using technology because I'm making a lot of shit with this. Former weapons inventor because the fact that some of this is weapons and going back to that the stuff I was doing more with the Fire Nation engineering in some points with that, or otherworldly mythos because spirit.
I'll allow your background or otherworldly mythos for this one.
Are people thinking background probably better of the two?
I would say Otherworldly Mythos is probably the better of the two.
Okay,
Yeah.
look, I'm going to be spending a collection to turn the 10 into a D10 into a 10 either way, so yeah, I will do Otherworldly Mythos.
Okay. Roll it.
So,
Are there any special properties you're trying to imbue on these things?
okay, so for the ones that are very specific to the people, for yours, which is specific to Yara, that one is going to be getting fire. If we can collect Jasper to help with that, I think that would probably be giving us the best fire to use for imbuing.
Okay, I might need to handle this. I'm gonna say this roll happens, and we'll deal with Jasper showing up to help with this later.
Okay, that's for Yara. For the tools and the multi-use weapon, that one is just going to be getting regular energy, going to be attempting to utilize the energy bending.
Onto the tools.
Yeah.
Are you getting anyone to help with that?
Thomas and Yara, because they're the ones that was discussing that theory with.
Okay, Thomas. Thomas is the one you need for this.
And then for the one that's going with Ming-Hua, what spirits do we have in area? I don't suppose Bazu would be willing to bless an item.
Intrigue me, Egghead.
the Spiritor can be infused by a spirit to gain power. I think if you bless this item and gave it to, that would be going to Mimois. Mimois puts a lot of effort into protecting Nara, someone you care about, and I believe that there's been synergy between your powers and his in the past.
Kenzie, do you want to bless a weapon with using Bazu's energy?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I wouldn't have even thought of asking Bazu. That's a really interesting choice.
Okay.
So let me roll these die.
Yeah, and
Chaos factor in that blade.
I am using the collection to turn that 9 into a 10 because fuck it.
Do I
I
roll
have-
something?
no,
Okay.
I got that.
Oh boy.
I also have a +4 from the previous session, and what I got from Thomas earlier, which I think is 4 or a +2.
It's a +2. So you are currently
16.
sitting at a 16.
I think you got it.
Was there anything specific you wanted to do with the glider?
Glider would also be energy bending if can do it, because it's being used by so many people theoretically that I don't think just getting it air bending would be.
Okay, so here's the cool shit you guys have now gotten from this. First off, Yira's sword. Yira. Your sword, you know how they literally say make the weapon an extension of yourself?
Yep.
Literally that. If a firebender is the one holding this sword, you can channel lightning, fire, whatnot through the blade as though it was literally part of yourself. It's like your chi network extends into the weapon.
Nice.
It can also store firebending, which isn't useful for you, but if someone else picked up the sword, they could throw fire with it. And because of that roll, it can store effectively 3 fire blasts in it, using your die size. Mark this down on the item.
Is this... Should I mark this as like a new signature weapon?
I'm going to write down what Izzy's telling us in character.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I'm not sure where it goes later, but...
Yeah. It can hold 3 fire charges using the firebender's die.
Oh, that is double 10s.
Yeah. Well, no, just your firebending die. They have to use the quality.
Oh, it's still a 10.
Yeah. Well, so fire or lightning for that. Less useful... Well, if the innate firebender who's tied with it, you get a persistent +1 boost while using. Oh, no, I take that back. That's not the bonus this thing's giving. This thing allows you to either use firebending or agility interchangeably for any fire or sword attacks.
Those are the same. I mean, I suppose that is going from a D8 to a D10 on sword attacks. Because it'd be fire and... That actually doesn't do very much for me. But, whatever.
Alright. Minghua's brass knuckles, blessed with Bazu's energy. I'm telling you guys absolutely nothing about that. When you use them in a fight, Minghua, tell me.
This is a bad plan.
Also, because these are made for a goat gorilla, human hands don't work in these. So this weapon is literally only can be used by Minghua.
Oh, we're giving it to Minghua, who's brainwashed right now, as far as we know out of character. But yeah, this is great.
They're not only used by Mimois. I can just clean them around with metal bending.
True.
That's true. Tell me if you decide to do that. Your set of tools, Rizik. You can actually store charges of bending in these tools. You may store 2 charges of any type of bending, earth, fire, air, or water, in here to get a 1-time use thing of bending. So if you choose to store it with 2 charges of water, you can water bend twice using the same rules for that I said for Yira's sword. Same thing is true for earthbending, or you can have one earthbending charge, one waterbending charge. You have less charges for this because you can use any type of bending to store it inside of this. This also will give you a bonus if you are ever messing with tech that clearly has spirit influence in it, meaning it's got runes. It gives you a +1 persistent bonus to dealing with spirit runes.
We should definitely have Rizik talk to the Spymaster as part of what we're doing during the next few days.
Yeah. Lastly, the polearm. The polearm has the same storage capacity as the set of tools. But any bender who is using it gets a +1 bonus when wielding the polearm using a charge that is stored in it. So if you are a earthbender who has stored a charge in there, you get a +1 bonus to any attacks, hinders, boosts, etc. Does that sound good to you guys? Are there any are there any questions about that?
I hope these will be relatively useful for the party as a whole.
Wait a minute, you used 3 units on this? You know what, fuck it. Make it 3 charges for the polearm. I forgot, you used a lot of spirit ore on this thing.
I do find it very funny and also thematically appropriate that my sword is better off in the hands of anyone else.
Yeah. You know, spirit ore is meant to, like, share stuff. Like, if you use it... That's the actual problem with the White Lotus group. They just haven't figured it out. They've gotten complacent with their weapons. If they're actually hot switching weapons, they'd be a lot more effective. But they're already really effective. Oh, fuck. I just realized something really cool you can do with the glider. And I'm okay with it. Alright, with that being said, you guys have those weapons. It now goes to Nara, Mingwa, and Kakan. What do you guys want to do?
Oh boy.
Is Kakan just babysitting Nara again?
I think so.
I mean, after what he caught us doing last time, he kind of has to.
Yeah, I mean, especially since I know that Han is busy.
Yeah,
Probably not gonna leave her out of my sight.
Yeah, no, you're just like, no Fight Club. No Fight Club.
Fight Club.
Rizik walks in 2 days later. Here, big was some brass knuckles for you. Walks out. You're just like, the fuck?
I think there would be a little bit more of an explanation.
Fight Club, Uncle Rizik is on board.
No.
But
No.
Yeah, the problem is I don't have anything specific Mingwa wants to do that would necessarily take me away.
You know what? Nara, make me a awareness check.
Okay.
Because it's time.
What?
I don't know.
Don't worry about it.
Are we in yellow?
You're in yellow.
Yes.
Okay. Sure.
I mean, there's something I sort of want to do if Yira still wants to do it, but we'd have to go into the upper ring.
Which one?
You were thinking of meditating and trying to go into the spirit world, in the spirit caves?
So, do we want to just, like, stealth check in with the Spymaster at some point, and then we do that while Rizik learns runes?
I would be down for that.
I mean, he can if he's going to be transporting you guys, he's going to be going with you. So you don't need to do that in Ba Sing Se. Because he did offer you an introduction to the Mother of Faces.
That might be a thing we do next session, as, like, we go to the Mother of Faces before Ember Island and also try meditating.
Alright, that sounds good.
Actually, the spirit... You need to go to the Mother of Faces to get to Ember Island, because Ember Island does not have a portal.
I thought it was one of the options.
the Mother of Faces Forgetful Valley is close to Ember Island, is what I said.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's Crescent Island, the other Fire Nation Island spot.
Yeah.
So
All right.
that's recorded in world building. Which
Yep.
one is Crescent Island again?
Check the map.
Not relevant. Got it.
Yeah, it's over there somewhere. It's far enough away from stuff you want to do. It's the old Fire Sage Temple.
Mhm.
Okay.
I mean, I would want to go there, but
All right. So, Nara, Mingwa, Kakan, anything else? Do you want to do another jaunt to the zoo? Do you want to, leer at the children to make sure that they don't start a fight club, Kakan?
I think Uncle Kakan and I can maybe go for just a lovely little walk. Explore the city.
where nothing bad happens.
There's nothing bad that happens in the middle and upper ring.
If you're doing that, then I'm gonna go to the zoo and just double check that Jasper's comfortable.
Sure, fine.
Hey, you don't want me starting a fight club. This is my concession.
Okay, yes.
The three of you are going to the zoo? Is that what it is, or is just Mingwa?
Well, I'm going to the zoo. You two are going on a walk that may or may not involve the zoo.
Yeah, we're just going through a nice, pleasant walk through the mid-ring.
Maybe we can find a lovely park and I can play with other children. And
Well,
definitely not raise a child army, because I
No.
promised my uncle.
No.
Only a child
You won't take me
brigade.
to the park? What the fuck?
We'll take you to the park. That's the... I'll let you run around, maybe.
I need to burn off some
I
of
love
this
that that's just
energy.
maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, I'll let you run around at the park. Oh, God. I wonder if they sell those child... those little child harness leash things.
If you want to, you can check the market for that.
I'm pretty sure Rizzik can build one if they don't.
God,
Rizzy can make one out of metal, yeah.
Ziggy does not trust me at all.
Look,
Yeah,
trust is
why?
earned.
How dare you? I have been so trustful,
I-
trustworthy.
It's literally been less than a day, and you tried to raise a fight club out of children.
I
just imagine
want to
eventually.
go for a walk.
I just imagine this eventually devolves into like a papoose is made that is Mingwa and Kakan sized, and you just
Papoose. That's what
Yeah.
you do just stick Nara in the front of it and walk around with her on her chest.
You can take the children out of the fight club. You can't take the fight club out of the children.
Where is my father?
Okay, so who's going next, Mingwa or Nara and Kakan? Dear God.
I
Someone.
guess we can go.
I guess we'll go.
Okay, where are you two going?
Do you want to go to
We're
the market to see if you can find that ridiculous leash?
Kind of tempted.
Let's go. Let's go to the market.
Fine, we're gonna go
I
to the
can't-
market.
I can't believe how many of the quotes from the Session Fight Club has generated.
That's
This
what
is
this is
how
going to be called.
This is how things normally go.
This is the
Oh,
default.
God.
All right, so you guys enter the square with the fountain of the spitting badger mole and all the different shops. And Kakan, you're just looking around. Are you looking for like a fabric papoose, like a shape?
Yeah,
a shape.
I mean, yes, I want it to be comfortable. I don't want to. I don't want it to like tase her or anything. It's just.
Okay, you.
I'm not. I am not giving a child a shock collar.
Jesus Christ.
I said I'm not.
Why is that an option?
It's not yet.
So,
Oh, God.
So Kakan, you wander around, Nara like trailing behind you, and you keep glancing over your shoulder to see whether or not she's still there.
Oh, I'm holding your
his
hand.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm 100%. I want to hold his hand.
Look,
I
even
don't
if
get
she,
to spend-
even if she wasn't Nara, she's still a child in a busy place with a lot of people. Of course, you hold her hand.
Yeah. So yeah, you eventually run over to find this stall with these fabrics that are kind of like thrown all over the place. And there's this
Can I
elderly
pick
woman.
out my own fabric that you're gonna make my leash out of at least?
Sure, I will let you pick out your own fabric.
So yeah, as you're perusing, you look over and you see the person running the stall is like immersed in her work. She is slowly stitching together this very elaborate silken dress. It looks like she hasn't slept in days. Her hands are shaking as she's trying to fit the needle through to get.
Oh
no! No! Did you forget? Of course you forgot. Why did I ask?
I didn't forget.
No.
Yes, you did.
I did not.
She's going to look up and say, "Oh, hello, sir. How can I help you?" And her hand is shaking so much, like she it looks like she keeps sticking her thumb with the needle.
I want to pull out all of my pocket money, which I assume is a lot because Grandpa Franco gave me a shit ton of money, and give her all of the money for my dress.
Oh, princess, what's this? I'm sorry, I've been working diligently.
Your payment, of course. I see how pretty my dress is going to be, and I wanted to make sure that you got paid in person, so my uncle gladly walked me down to the market so that I could see it in person.
She's just going to look down at your pitiful allowance. And
So that does confirm it's not actually a lot.
Yeah, no. What Nara has on hand, no. Han is the one who has the power of money. Nara does not.
Okay.
Franco gave me a shit ton of money.
Yeah, and it ended up with Han. She's going to look down at you and just be like, "This."
You'll receive more. Please just humor her.
Oh, this is imported silk from the Southern Water Tribe. She's going to say it looks like she's just going to this dress is one of a kind.
Do I have any money on me? I don't know if I actually do.
Like Nara,
I legitimately thought I had money on me.
I think you need to go fetch Han to pay for it.
Yeah, no, if you pull out your money, it's like there's Nara's pitiful allowance plus the equivalent of Kakan's pitiful amount of pay.
I look up at Kakan and go, "Uncle, I'm guessing this is not actually a lot of money, is it?"
No, it is not.
I look around and I see one of the children that are nearby, and I kind of wave them over, and I go, "Hey, can I get you to run an errand for me?" And I pull out one of my coins, and I say, "I need you to go get my father and bring him back here. Do you think you'd be able to do that?"
Who's your father?
My father is Han Beifong, right?
Han Beifong. Okay, the Beifong family name, of course. I know exactly.
No.
I know my name.
Don't correct her.
No, Han, what the hell is my name?
Ahon.
Han. I was close.
No, you weren't.
I was waiting for Kenzie to just say, "My dad's the Earth King."
I was waiting for that too.
Let's see. Hold on.
I give them the correct
document
fucking
the
name.
different fuck-ups of my name that we have in discussion.
Mine were mostly intentional.
I'm my actual dad.
Yeah, I'm sad you never used baton, Izzy. That would have been an easy one.
I've only made up 2 names.
You've made up 3 or 4.
You made up a few.
Okay, whatever. So
you're part of the Beifong family now, Tom.
You're part of the Beifong family now. So yeah, this kid is just.
Alright, I give him the correct name to go find my father and tell him that he'll be up at the palace. Same thing.
Wait, why would I be at the palace?
I don't fucking know where you are right now!
You guys
You just
know
sent
where
some
we
poor
are.
kid to the palace!
No.
You guys will know where
What
we
is wrong
probably
with
are.
you?
And Kenzie just got another. Wow, Kenzie just got another NPC killed by sending them at Royals. In a
Wow!
Okay,
Why do you kill children?
I don't think this would get the children killed.
Okay,
Kenzie, I think, should know where we are.
Okay, I need to ask a stupid question. Nara, Kakan, are you guys going to wait for this child to come back with Han, or are you going?
I'm going to like motion to the kid and just wave him off to go. Just stop. Just don't go. Just leave.
Why? I want to get Dad.
We will get your father later.
She's
because
just.
We know where he is. Unlike a random child from the street.
This is what runners are for.
The old lady.
This is not a runner. This is a child.
The old lady's.
An innocent child that you will not
The old lady's.
an innocent child that you will not bid to do your dirty work.
That's my whole thing! Sean, I'm glad I can make you laugh.
Excuse me, sir. Is there a problem? Why are you two raising your voices in the middle of the square?
I wasn't raising my voice.
To the small child you were. Please don't do that. There is no conflict in Bossing Say.
I apologize, sir. There's no conflict.
I just want to leave this city.
And yet you keep dragging yourselves back in!
Alright.
No.
Okay. I will
really liberally, Izzy.
I will speak to the seamstress in the most polite tone available.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, do not worry, you will be paid all that you are due for this dress and more. In the meantime,
thank you.
Can I ask you for a much more simpler order?
You're still gonna ask for it?
One that I believe you may be more inclined to do.
Of course, sir. She's just gonna say she's staring at you with these bloodshot eyes. She hasn't slept in days.
Why has she not been sleeping?
I don't know. I didn't.
Because she was threatened by the Earth Princess!
What the fuck?
You threatened her with the Dai Li!
You did!
Yes, I did.
Yeah, you did!
Yes.
Oh. Whoops.
She's been working day and night trying to get this, crocheted portion embroidered around the collar perfect.
Great. She's a good worker. She deserves all the money that my dad's gonna pay her.
Yeah, literally, there is a embroidered lace around the collar that has Nara's face on it several times over.
What the fuck?
Henzi, just why?
I
Why
wanted
are
a
you
dress.
like this?
I wanted a new dress. You weren't getting me a new dress.
To be fair,
You
the
didn't
design-
ask!
the design
I
is
certainly
like
I would have bought you a fucking dress. My power is literally money. I don't give a fuck.
That's why I had one commissioned. I wanted a special dress.
I
Hey,
would have
hey.
ordered one.
Hey, Dan, you do get to buy her a dress now.
Yeah.
You do.
Thanks, Sean.
Yes, you do.
Alright, so you're gonna ask for the papoose?
Yes, I'm going to ask for the papoose.
I want it in purple.
You do not need to make it out of silk. Your regular materials will do fine.
If it's in silk, I'll
Probably
rip
want
it.
something
Just make it durable.
How comfortable do you want it? I think I have some burlap.
Something other than that.
I mean, honestly, burlap might be fine.
She literally takes a potato sack, gives it 2 straps, and cuts leg holes for Nora to slip into.
I'll pay her whatever I have for this. I'm sure it's enough, but clearly she needs all the help she can get right now.
Yeah, no, she's so out of it. She's like,
Please do not worry about the Dai Li.
Who are they?
She lacks that power. In fact, what I'm actually going to do, because I feel like one of us has to be responsible, I'm going to bow, and I'm going to bow as an apology, and I'm going to do the thing where, you take your child's head and you make them bow too.
Yeah, and considering your palm is twice the size of Nara's head, you just down.
We sincerely apologize for the stress and grief that this little one has caused you. Isn't that right, Nara?
Yes, I'm very, very sorry. I misspoke earlier. I did not mean to cause you so much stress.
I'm so confused. Are you actually the Earth King's daughter or not?
Yes.
Yes, regrettably.
I'm so... She as you're turning around and this, she's just as soon as you guys are away from her stand and she can't see you anymore, she's just going to collapse onto this dress and just fall asleep snoring. She is that overworked at this point.
See, she's getting a break.
You monster.
Monster there.
Minghua, you're the last one to go. What did you wish to do?
I mostly just I wanted to go by the zoo and just like double check that Jasper's comfy.
Jasper's comfy and still there, yes.
Excellent.
How
is Hope?
Friend. Hi.
I offer scritches.
Good. Scritches. Yay. She's going to nuzzle.
Oh, I'm going to look at Jasper surprised and be like, she learns new words?
Every so often she says something we're not expecting. But she has her favorite 3.
Friend, hurt, and...
I am Groot.
Really?
Damn it, is he?
I thought that was funny. No. Friend, hurt, and help.
Right. Yeah, Mingwell's just gonna kind of hang out there and probably confuse people like, why is there a goat gorilla in that exhibit?
Yeah, the dragon. And the miracle worker. And you're actually seeing several people coming in, being led in by the zookeeper. Again, looks like his galoshes still covered completely in shit. But like he's, escorting people in one at a time. People who are like sometimes being carried in, like unable to walk, or like they have a twisted arm, clearly broken compound. And Hope is going to let them pet her. And their injuries seem to just kind of melt away. You also see that the zookeeper is making a substantial profit off of this.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Welcoming everybody to the Miracle Zoo. But, yeah, if you are in the same cage as them, you will be getting lots and lots of bananas.
Yes!
Because while he's making bank off this, he's also spending bank to make sure all the exhibits are happy.
Okay. The zoo does not need to get blown up.
Alrighty. It is almost 10. Do you guys want to cut here, or do you want to... is there any final last-minute things, or do you guys want to start on your way of leaving Ba Sing Se?
I think we should make sure Han goes by and actually pays the woman.
Yeah.
Well, we can assume that Han goes by and generously tips this poor lady.
Yeah,
we all need that to happen and confirm that.
As in like cover several months, at least a few months of rent generously.
Yeah, no, she's going to be so grateful for you, mighty Earth King.
See, it all worked out.
No, it didn't. She didn't need to be this stressed out. I would have tipped her nicely anyway.
Is there anything else you guys wish to do in the city, or any like last minute things?
We should figure out which waterbender we're bringing with us.
Yes.
I thought we said there was Arashi.
I need to go on more adventures with Uncle Kakan.
So it's up to you guys, but it is gonna whoever you use is going to follow the sidekick rules.
Fine.
That said,
I think it's mostly who's spending the points then.
Yeah, it's also, you guys, since you have now made the weapons, you don't need a waterbender with you. If there is a reason you want to keep a waterbender with you, that's a different story. But you don't... Any NPCs you take forward from this point, outside of the Spymaster who you will get for the first round of teleport, you guys have to spend the points on. That's all I will say.
Okay.
So if you guys want to decide...
Izzy, can you give us the list of NPCs that we could grab with us in text form?
I would also probably spend the last couple of days going over spirits and runes with Samael primarily and Arashi secondary.
Okay.
Just continue, assume that is what I'm doing during downtime while Han makes sure the woman gets paid.
Gotcha. If that is the case, Sean, you can increase your otherworldly mythos to a D8. Because you've actively been spending time on that for several sessions.
Yeah, okay.
And I wish I could be meditating, but unless the Spymaster wants to be team sneak in, then sneak out, which is dumb.
Yeah. Sadly, no. Why did I write that?
Honestly, I feel like Yura is doing a combination of just kind of sitting around and talking to Kuro.
Okay, he falls in and out of consciousness, but, like, it's mostly going to be... I'm going to say kind of like you would expect, like, veteran group therapy going.
Pretty much, yeah. And probably talking to Stone Jen. And just, like... I feel like my character's one of the few who's not mad at him.
Yeah. Once you realize he is a square peg that only fits in square holes...
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's not a bad guy. It's just he's not budging on most topics.
I mean, yes, and I'm going to gather what knowledge he has about fighting spirits directly because he has far more experience in that regard than I do.
Yeah, so he's actually going to tell you something that you're probably going to really like. The fact that he is probably the best earthbender in the area. Said completely modestly, of course.
Of course.
Is what allows him to fight toe-to-toe with spirits without need of any spirit ore, really. He can use it to, like, help punch things home, but, like, when you're in the physical world, bending is just as effective. Unless, of course, you run up against a spirit, like, a waterbender would always fail against the ocean spirit, or the ocean demons.
What do you mean by that?
If there's a demon that controls that element, a mere mortal will not stand.
No, not that. That your bending is as effective as a weapon of spirit ore.
I have trained to channel my inner spirit and imbue it into my earthbending. It's taking my bending to another level. I don't just throw a single rock. I am literally a part of the ground and everything around me that is made of earth when I fight.
Please go on. Dizzy, can I roll to try and understand what the fuck he's talking about? Because that actually sounds like one of the few things that is actually very interesting to my character here.
You may roll this, yes.
Are we in red or yellow?
You are still in... This is the last box of yellow.
I can't... Can I use Principle of Fire on this one?
He's talking earth, so...
It's a try and understand it from a firebending perspective, but I understand why not.
Yeah.
I will totally use my last collection to get a 9 on that.
Okay.
Basically, attempting to translate that between generalized mastery of firebending, the understanding that comes from going to the Central Air Temple, and what a Master Earthbender is teaching to try and incorporate these lessons in a different style.
So the way he is describing earthbending, normally the way you would see most earthbenders is you're in contact with the ground, you determine what you want to go, and then once you lose contact with the rock that you hurl, that's kind of it. It is bent in that direction. You can't make it change directions. He's claiming the opposite, that he can still manipulate things and control them remotely, which is something, unless you're like a waterbender or an airbender, is not typical. Like, fire and earthbenders don't do that. They have to generate and they manipulate from source. They can't control from remote.
I'm pretty sure that's not true for fire.
Depends on the fire. The exceptions of that you have seen are your masters and Yuki. You can also do it, but it takes a lot of focus. But you have mastered firebending to a level where you can manipulate it from a distance. But what he's talking about is like going to a next level where it's almost subconscious. You don't even have to think about it. It like you will it and it moves. Like another level of bending. I'm going to refer to this out of character as the Ultra Instinct bending.
Izzy, am I allowed to roll that extra skill I gained to try and parse this out?
Yes.
Alright. I'm spending my last stored bonus on this because absolutely I'm spending my last stored bonus on this. Yeah, well, we're re-rolling that. We're re-rolling that. Alright, that's an 8.
8. So, what your masters, Stone, Jin, and Yuki
I'm assuming this is much more like it is a spiritual connection of actually being one with the world around you rather than trying to exert your will upon it type thing.
It's kind of like that. But in talking with Stone Jin Wei, he's angry, he's gruff, he's stubborn. But there's a weird thing about him of, despite all that, he can almost trivially center himself and is completely at peace with everything he is, everything he does, and knows where he's going to be. On a complete level. And there are some things he has said which resonate with you, that make sense, that track, and there are other things he has said to you which are kind of like frictions, like, that's not quite my style, that's not quite what I'm doing, kind of thing.
I actually just thought it probably isn't fire, it probably is lightning. From the perspective Yura has of what that means.
If that's what you think. But yeah,
that, like, there is a lot that is fire.
Mm-hmm.
And in very much, lightning is not fire. Lightning is in many ways the absence of something that then collapses back in.
Yep.
It is void and then it is pure energy. And it's something that, no, you have to be one with yourself and in control to, not harm yourself with.
Mm-hmm.
Fire is easy, lightning is not.
When lightning does become easy, you'll have ascended. Anyone else? I'm hearing silence.
I'm good.
Yep, same.
Okay. Well, not quite the note I wanted to end on, but we are 10 minutes after, and I'm assuming people are doing a hard stop tonight?
Yeah, I'm getting tired.
Okay.
I'm pretty out of it too, sorry.
Nope, no problem. Alright, so we will call it here. Next week, if you guys want in character or in general, if there are any final things you want to do in bossing, say. Otherwise, how you get out of here is up to you. You can go get Jasper, you can call the Spymaster, you can call upon NPCs that you want to take with you, but they will all have to be spent by points.
Please send us a list of NPCs that are valid options.
I will send that list. Honestly, at this point, I don't think there are any invalid options.
It's mostly remind us what their name is and what they do.
Yeah.
Okay, clearly we should buy the Fire Lord as an ally just for the
What?
Izzy said no invalid options.
It's true.
Among the
Actually,
NPCs you have met.
Wait. Yeah, so Prince of Zulon, how about the guy that we all want to kill?
You guys want to pay for a final encounter next session? Feel free to spend your points on that.
Oh boy.
Feel free. Anyway, questions.
I would also say, you're as actively interested in going to Crescent Island and the Temple of the Fire Sages before we go to, like, Ember Island and Spirit Land, because she actually feels close to a breakthrough in something.
Well, you guys can discuss that.
This is just a thing that would be asked.
Yep. What are we calling this session?
I mean, we did just get our version of Tales of Bossing Say, basically.
Yeah.
My suggestion was going to be Forging Ahead.
I want Izzy to put on a play that is the explanation of what our party is doing from the perspective of our enemies.
Since we already had the circus episode, he seems less likely to give us that. But yes, I also demand it.
Ay.
That'll be the finale episode.
If you hand me a script, I will act it out as appropriately as I can, Izzy.
I don't write scripts. You know that.
And this is why I'm saying, if you decide to.
All right, let's start off. Hotaru, what did you learn?
That Nara has zero regard for the consequences of her actions and the effect it has on those around her.
What do you want to know more about?
All the things out of character I can't reasonably act on in character.
Trying to get you guys to those things. Where do you think this is going?
We're never leaving this damn city.
Be careful what you ask for.
I didn't ask for that. That's what I think's gonna happen.
I think we're leaving next session because we have finally finished all the prep work to do in the city.
I was trying to get you out of the damn city today.
Well, you failed, sir.
Absolutely failed.
We still had a few things left to do.
Yeah. No,
like my dress.
And I wonder how that work order to finish the wall is going to go after we leave, or if that's immediately going to fall apart.
It depends on what NPCs you take with you. Anyway, Rizik, what did you learn?
The results of all the prep work. Some more about how spirit stuff operates. Also, some about the Earth King of Bossing Say, though did not have a good excuse to destroy that curtain.
I mean, you could have destroyed that curtain.
Yeah, and immediately been arrested by the Dai Li.
Then Wex's number 3 would have been accurate. What do you want to know more about?
As usual, everything, but mostly about spirits and runes.
Fair. And where do you think this is going?
Probably some more prep work and then crashing a wedding.
Fair. Nara, what did you learn? Nara.
Sorry, I was finding something else. I learned that Uncle Kakan is fun to hang out with and willing to go to new places to protect me.
I think it's to protect other people.
Clearly me.
What do you want to know more about?
What do I want to know more about? The underground fight clubs that are clearly in these cities. I'm going to get to one eventually.
Odd if I can help it.
See? Uncle Khan's going to come with me to new places to protect me.
You're going to be so unhappy with me.
I can't wait for you guys to go to one of the water tribes and there's just going to be a fight club. It's, a waterbender versus a baby sea lion.
I'm going to be so fucking excited.
I gotta say, Kenzie, you're going to be so unhappy with me in several sessions when I deflate your entire character completely and forevermore.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
I think it is very important that does not come from a place of ire and hatred.
Whoa.
Happens.
Where do you think this is going, Kenzie?
Drama.
We don't talk about Fight Club, but we're def going to one.
God. All right, Yura, what do you want to know? What did you learn?
More about the Spymaster. Following lightning is the actual path.
All right.
Kira got a giant bomb about what the rest of her family's been doing.
Unhappy about it?
I don't feel that is entirely the correct word, but it is an appropriate word.
Fair. What do you want to know more about?
Spirit things, lightning, ascension. There is actually the question of, should I actually do that?
Good question. Good question. And where do you think this is going?
Nora makes us have one more episode in Bossing Say.
I will go wherever people push me to go.
Kenzie, if I ask you if you want to go to Fight Club at the beginning of next week.
Sure, I don't know where that is though. Could be in a different city. Maybe it's in a different city. Could be this city, different city. I don't care.
There is no Fight Club. It's the Dai Li.
That could be a fight club.
Also, meditating on the nature of spirits and everything.
Okay.
It also is that the Fight Club exploration happened because we left Nora entirely on to figure out what she wanted to do.
Did you say Dai Li?
I said entirely on her.
Okay, that's not what I heard, but that's okay. All right, next up, Kakan. What did you learn?
That Kakan has given Han far too little credit for dealing with Nara.
I appreciate it.
What do you want to know more about?
Definitely more about the Spymaster and his past.
Fair. And where do you think this is going?
Heading to the Fire Nation.
Woohoo! And last but not least, Han! What did you learn?
Well, the Earth King is both a bear and marginally more useful than the Earth King in canon.
Womp womp.
What do you want to know more about?
I kind of want to know more. As much as we need to get the fuck out of Bossing Say, I'm kind of curious how and why this particular undermining of the king by the Dai Li is set up, because obviously they were sabotaging the wall that the king seems to want very badly.
If you want to stick around for another couple of episodes to figure that out.
Oh no, I'll leave that particular mystery lying.
Fair enough. And where do you think this is going?
Finally leaving this fucking city.
All right, and now as a follow-up, everybody, before we sign off, I need a very quick poll. As far as number 3s go, who do you think is more correct, Hotaru or Han?
Ooh.
We're never leaving this damn city. Finally leaving this fucking city. Let's start off from top to bottom. Han, are we leaving? Are you leaving or never leaving?
I'm just gonna have to pray to God I'm right, because I don't know what I'm gonna do if I'm not.
Hotaru, are you never leaving or are you leaving?
If we aren't leaving, I'm going to literally entomb whoever makes us not leave in the center of the city.
Good luck. Kakan, are you leaving or not leaving?
Gonna go with leaving.
Minghua, leaving or not leaving?
Leaving, but slower than expected.
But we want you to stay. It's the royal we. Nara, leaving or staying?
Wherever Dad goes.
Rizik, leaving or staying?
Leaving.
Yira, leaving or staying?
I feel like right now I'm leaving the city next session. Whether or not anyone else is also is a good question.
Fair enough. Alrighty. Well, that was session 35, Forging Ahead. Hope you all had a good time. And next week we will pick up and we will finally determine whether or not you're leaving Bossing City. Or as you have all referred to it as, this damn city or this fucking city.
Hey, I haven't said that once.
That is true. Tune in next time as Nara tries on her new dress.
Yay!
Oh boy.
It's perfect.
It's gonna be so pretty.
You're gonna grow out of it very shortly.
Yeah, that's the sad part about being small.
Good night, everybody. Second it to the recording.
Good night.
Good night, recording.
Good night.
Good night, recording.